of a toxic train derailment in Ohio. She says he directed the multi-agency response. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visiting East Palestine earlier today.
Norfolk Southern will pay for this remediation, and the federal administration will be here to hold them accountable for that and make sure that they are making this community whole.
The NTSB's preliminary report on the crash says the crew was slowing the train down to check an overheated wheel bearing when that bearing failed. More prison time for Harvey Weinstein, the former movie producer just sentenced to 16 years in California for the rape of an Italian actress and model. That's in addition to the more than 20 years Weinstein has left to serve for a similar conviction in New York. Missouri's Attorney General wants a prosecutor fired for neglecting her duties.
I wish that we weren't at this point today. However, the rule of law and justice demand that action be taken to hold Kim Gardner accountable for her failure to discharge her ethical, moral, and legal obligations.
Republican State Attorney General Andrew Bailey is in the process of asking the courts to remove Gardner, a Democrat. He says the tipping point was a weekend car crash that left a teenage girl with both legs amputated. The suspect had reportedly violated bond conditions repeatedly. Gardner has accused critics of twisting facts. She's set to hold her own news conference. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What he was doing in Ohio, partly cloudy, 65 degrees in downtown Indy, all clear on your radar, and a quick drop in temperatures tonight. The low falls to the mid-20s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Transportation Secretary and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg was in East Palestine earlier today. He spoke with Town Mayor Trent Conaway about what's been done since that toxic train derailment.
Had a good conversation with the mayor, who is clearly very focused on supporting this community and helping the community move forward.
Conaway called it a slap in the face when President Biden showed up in Ukraine instead of stopping through Ohio. One person was killed, another hurt in a shooting off 36th Street on the east side this afternoon. IMPD says officers responded to that shooting just before 1, not far from the 38th Street and Sherman Drive intersection. The person who was hurt is in the hospital. Police have not released any more information. There was a shooting at a BP gas station yesterday. IMPD Sergeant Janae Cook says it all started with an argument inside.
Resolving an issue with a weapon is not the answer. All you do is cause further issues for themselves, for others. You're not affecting just one person, you're affecting an entire community.
Now, police say they've arrested a man who they believe was responsible for the shooting at an apartment complex. He's been charged with aggravated battery. 2 other people were arrested in that apartment, but on drug and gun charges. Arrested for child porn possession. And a man named Batman.
And no, we're not talking about the comic book or movie Batman. I'm Sean Herrick. State police say they arrested a man from Bartholomew County named Kevin Ray Batman after they got a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Police say they found child porn at his home on Tuesday, so now he's facing several charges. He's due in Bartholomew County Circuit Court soon. Kevin Ray Batman is 61 years old. Sean Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
You can expect warm temperatures today.
Indianapolis here, we're looking at 60s, and then parts of southern Indiana might even touch 70. And then that'll cool off in the evening as a weak cold front passes through.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says things will cool back down, though, into the 40s across central Indiana Friday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
What good is faith? Pastor John Gable of Tabernacle Presbyterian Church in Indianapolis.
Faith in God is a wonderful gift. At TAB, we desire to be a resource for those who want to grow deep and strong in their relationship with God through teaching, worship, and prayer. But we also know that faith does no one any good if it doesn't help them to become more Christ-like by engaging and serving our neighbors, the community, and the world. TAB has a long history of putting hands and feet to faith through active service and ministry, just as Jesus did. If you'd like to learn more about having an active faith, stop on by or visit us at tabpres.org.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis, invites you to worship Sunday morning at 8 or 10 a.m. If you can't make it in person, tune in to Sunday with Tab, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WIBC, or find us online at tabpres.org.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Bear.
And All right, this is a crash northbound 69 at 82nd Street. The ramp is partially blocked. It's on the entrance ramp, okay? Northbound 69 from 82nd Street. Traffic sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Should be a great day today. High temps low to mid 60s, slightly breezy with a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures will fall quickly later on this evening. Lows will bottom out in the mid 20s. We're in store for a chilly end to your work week. Highs near 40 with a mostly sunny sky. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
It is Friday Eve, Thirsty Thursday, whatever you want to call it, here on the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Mindy Winkler, pinch hitting for Big Nige today. Nice to see you, Mindy.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
He finally made it. He finally made it there. Pete Buttigieg, your transportation secretary, former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, finally made it to East Palestine, Ohio. Now, it's coincidental. It's a damn interesting piece of timing, Mindy, that he shows up the day after Donald Trump arrives.
Right. Yeah, the fact that Trump had to be the one initiating this, and it's been, 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks after the disaster where a train had a derailment, toxic chemicals were leaking out. There was an explosion. These went up into the air. We've seen the photos. We've seen Senator J.D. Vance going to the soil and the creeks and the rivers and using a stick to basically show you how polluted things are.
Isn't Erin Brockovich even there herself?
Is she? I haven't heard that.
I've heard that, yes. She's there.
It makes sense. So for those keeping score at home, Joe Biden hasn't made it. Pete Buttigieg made it today, but Donald Trump beat both of them by arriving yesterday. Do you think Pete Buttigieg would have been in Ohio today had the orange man not made it yesterday?
Of course not. First of all, he needed personal time, and that's why he couldn't make it in the first place. And then, that's the only reason he's there at all.
So yesterday, Donald Trump showed up and he was talking to local officials, local politicians, first responders, buying Big Macs for like the first responders and people there. Aww. They made a McDonald's pit stop, which is so on brand for Trump, right?
Right.
Like if you, President's Day was a couple days ago. If you told me name two presidents that would stop at McDonald's, it's Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. Those are the two. Like, I can think about Phil Hartman now on Saturday Night Live.
Yes, the cheeseburgers he's running.
The warlords, right? Those are the two presidents that would be associated with McDonald's. Also donated some supplies, but Pete finally made it today. Now, take a listen to this. This is before things kind of got rolling today. Turning Point reporter Savannah Hernandez asked Secretary Buttigieg why it took him almost 3 weeks to finally make it to Ohio. If you're the transportation secretary, you should probably be there when there's a transportation disaster. But before Pete could do anything, his press secretary comes in, jumps in, saves the day, and makes it known that she does not want to be filmed.
Mayor Pete, why did it take you an entire 2.5 weeks to actually get here to respond to East Palestine? Will you apologize to the residents of this city for the slow response? To the government's slow response, do you have any apology? I'm this press person, I can help you. Sure. So can we ask why it took him almost 3 weeks to get here?
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this on camera.
What was his personal time off while there was a tragedy happening here?
And can we also ask too why he waited until President Donald Trump came here to actually make an appearance? This is a very important question that people across America would like to know.
I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I do not want to be on camera.
Please put your cameras away.
My name's Alexis.
I'm sorry, we're on a public area, so we are allowed as press.
So the Biden administration, which ran on being transparent, we're going to have a transparent administration, doesn't want cameras rolling when the transportation secretary finally, 3 weeks later, makes it to a transportation disaster.
Right. And isn't she the press secretary for this.
Yes.
That's kind of the point of you, is you're the press. So you're supposed to be addressing the press.
And for those who don't know, Turning Point is an organization, mainly college students, and it's a conservative organization, but they are accredited media. So Savannah Hernandez finds Pete Buttigieg, walking up to the scene, and the press secretary is there, and all of a sudden, no transparency. Here's a little more.
And you guys, I would like you guys to turn your cameras off.
You're not on my camera.
Well, I'm on a camera. I would like your cameras to be off, and then I'm happy to talk to you guys.
Well, if you're the press secretary of the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, don't you think you should be able to ask questions from the American public that you serve?
Absolutely. I would like to do it without the camera on.
Can I ask why?
I think that is a little bit aggressive. That's why. And
why
I just
is it
want you to have-
aggressive? Why? He has not been here until Donald Trump came.
She's asked several times for them to turn the cameras off, and they will not do it.
All right, y'all. So we are with the press secretary for Pete Buttigieg, and right now we are being told that we are not supposed to be filming.
Aggressive was the word that I heard there, Mindy. And I could see your eyes rolling right there. What goes through your mind when you hear that the press secretary of the former mayor of South Bend says, you guys are being too aggressive?
Yeah, you're being aggressive and doing your job and what the American public wants to know and has in their minds themselves, and yet you're being too aggressive for me to answer this question.
I'm old enough to remember when Sarah Huckabee Sanders would have her press briefings at the White House, people would stand up and chew her out. They would point at her. That one loser from Playboy would stand up and just yell over everybody.
Right.
That wasn't aggressive, but the administration that wants to be the most transparent. Oh, we are all about transparency. You can't film anybody showing up to a major disaster? What kind of crap is this?
Yeah. I mean, I would think at this point, that's your whole point of being there, right? Is to let you be filmed. You're
Right.
trying to be shown.
You finally made it.
Right.
Roll tape.
Right.
And by the way, did you see the pictures of Pete? Because he spoke at the end, and I've got some audio of that. But did you see the photos of Pete there on site in Ohio?
I did not.
He had like the orange vest on, the safety goggles, and like the big hard hat. And seeing that guy wear the hard hat gave me really strong Mike Dukakis coming out of the tank vibes. You remember what I'm talking about?
I do.
When Mike Dukakis, who was running for president, wanted to show that he was tough. So he did this photo op where he pops up out of a tank, and it looked like Dark Helmet from Spaceballs. The helmet was way too big, and he just looked like a goon. That's kind of the same vibes I got from Pete today. Let's hear from the transportation secretary.
Sorry, Pete. I just have a quick question. The American public doesn't seem to be very confident in your ability to do your job. Will you be resigning anytime soon?
I'm not here for politics. I'm here to make sure the community can get what they need.
Will you
That's just,
apologize?
I want to be
Will you
speaking to
apologize for the
leaders,
response? For the slow response, taking your
Probably
time?
one of the big things. Let's go in here and get away from this.
No apology?
Do you think it was a mistake for Biden to go to
Can you
Ukraine
ask
before
Biden
coming
why
here?
he was able to go to Ukraine?
So it wasn't a real friendly atmosphere for Pete Buttigieg there today.
As it shouldn't be.
But did you hear the one person that said, are you going to resign? His response, this isn't about politics. Well, then he goes up to the microphone, the podium, and makes it all about politics and basically blames Donald Trump for the whole thing here. Which, all right, there are two facets to this story for me, Mindy, and tell me if I'm wrong. There's the accident itself, and there's the cleanup.
Correct.
Now, we can talk about the accident itself all you want. If you want to blame Donald Trump, maybe we can have that conversation. By the way, the report came out today that said it was an overheated wheel bearing that may have caused that crash.
Okay.
So whoever's fault that is, we can have that debate. But the cleanup is solely on one administration. When disasters happen, it's the folks in charge that have to lead the cleanup.
Right.
And this is where the controversy comes from.
Right. Well, think about it. It's like accidents happen, things happen. It's how you react to them and how you take action after that makes the difference.
And by the way, people are ripping Donald Trump for going there yesterday saying it's a photo op and he didn't do enough because Donald Trump brought
It would
water.
never be enough.
Right.
He could hand everybody $1 million a piece and it wouldn't be enough.
He donated some water and some cleaning supplies, and folks on Twitter real quick to point out that's not enough. He just did that because he wanted a photo op.
So what's Biden's administration done?
Where's the Biden photo? Where's the Pete Buttigieg photo?
Yeah.
Nobody went there for 3 weeks. if it was a photo op, at least he was there to look these people in the eye and say, what happened here is unacceptable. If I were the president, we would do things differently, whether you believe it or not.
Right.
These people just wanted somebody of note to care, to let them know that you're not forgotten.
Right.
Because it felt like they were. It took Pete a long time to even acknowledge what happened on social media or interviews. But he was on personal time with Chasten. So ridiculous. Jesse Waters, friend of our show that does the evening program on Fox, he talked a little bit about Pete Buttigieg's handling of this last night.
The point is, you don't bother Pete when he's out on a date with Chasten. He's taking some personal time. Pete's off the clock. And you better respect that, even if it means people might get cancer. Pete's only going to East Palestine tomorrow because he got shamed into it. The White House can't afford not to go when Trump's out there having Big Mac attacks, especially since it took him days to even start pretending to care.
And I just have to ask, because it did take you a couple of days to respond publicly, or several days to respond publicly to this particular incident. Do you wish you would have spoken out sooner?
Yes, I was focused on just making sure that our folks on the ground were all set, but could have spoken sooner about how strongly I felt about this incident, and that's a lesson learned for me.
Don't worry, Pete promises he'll care the next time there's a chemical explosion, as long as it doesn't conflict with his personal time. We know how needy Chasten can be.
Somewhere, Adam Wren, who covers Pete Buttigieg, thinks that that's a great response. Oh, what a great example of leadership,
He's
Pete
learned
Buttigieg.
from it. It won't happen again.
Oh, my. Did I mention that he was in the military and gay? Oh, just the best. Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
That's a crash northeast side on the ramp from 82nd Street. From northbound 69 to 82nd Street, a crash on the ramp. There it is, open, partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info, positivecoach.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 and sunshine right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Enjoy this while you can, because tomorrow's high, 43 with a low of 31. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. Mindy Winkler filling in for Big Nige. And when we come back, if you've ever failed a drug test and blamed it on poppy seeds, we have an update for you next.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey.
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay. If you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery. We love getting a 6% upfront bonus, but we also love that our investment growth is tax-free because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
That's 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Did you miss the Sullivan Hardware and Garden patio furniture sale last weekend? Well, you didn't miss it all. Due to tremendous response, we've held over the best pricing of the season on premium patio furniture. Hi, Pat Sullivan here. Have you seen all the patio furniture at Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Teak, cast aluminum, all-weather wicker, Berlin garden poly furniture, and much more. Many customers ask me, why is our patio furniture different? Well, we specialize in excellent quality mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 17,000 square foot warehouse. And again, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, patio furniture already preseason priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. You can even order your own custom cushions at no extra charge. Come see for yourself once again this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Patio furniture already preseason priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, and in Cicero. Online at sullivanhardware.com.
Relay Indiana is the service that connects hard of hearing Hoosiers, giving them equal access through captioned telephones so they can keep their independence. This life-giving self-sufficiency is critical when deafness takes away the importance and joy of phone conversations. With equipment and services from Relay Indiana, those with hearing loss can read what the caller is saying. The advanced technology of the CapTel Caption telephone provides normal phone conversations through voice recognition, keeping Hoosiers with hearing loss connected so they stay involved and participate, preventing the severe problems that isolation can cause. If you can't hear, then seeing a caller's words on the easy-to-read screen of a captioned telephone makes all the difference in the world. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Know someone who needs the independence that this self-reliance will provide? Help them get the CapTel Caption telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Skyworks Equipment Rental of Indianapolis has immediate openings for experienced parts coordinators, heavy equipment mechanics, CDL drivers, and outside sales reps. Full-time with medical, disability, PTO, 401k, and more. Apply today at skyworksllc.com/jobs. Skyworks, building America from the ground up.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Got a tweet from Jeremy at Hammer and Nigel. I'm totally playing the forecast highs and lows on a Powerball ticket. I mean,
it does sound like Powerball numbers, actually.
65, 25, 43, 31, 52, 36. It's such a wide range of numbers. I think you should do it.
If you win anything, you need to tweet us back and let us know.
Mindy, you were telling me during the break that you happened to watch the Seinfeld episode just the other night.
Yes.
Where Elaine had the poppy seeds.
Correct. She didn't know that poppy seed muffins were what was causing her to test positive more than once. And she was supposed to get to go to Africa with Jay Peterman, and she kept failing. And then that's also the episode where they have no shower, they have no shower heads not working or whatever. So Here comes, Kramer. I need it bad.
But going back to the poppy seeds, because this has kind of been a long-standing theory in stoner lore that eating poppy seed bagels can lead to a failed drug test. And a lot of people thought, oh, that's just something stoners say. But now the Pentagon, the United States Pentagon, has basically confirmed that, yes, that can be the case.
Why did it take 30 years? It's been on Seinfeld back in the 90s.
It's the United States government, Mindy. I'm surprised it was this fast, to be honest with you. In a memo to the United States Armed Forces, the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness says certain varieties of poppy seeds have higher traces of codeine than previously thought. He advises troops to avoid eating bagels and other foods with poppy seeds on them. And now Pentagon officials say they're taking a second look at all codeine-positive tests from 2019 to current to make sure they're accurate. Quote, the amount of poppy seeds consumed, concentration of codeine detected in urine, and time of consumption relative to the drug tests are important factors.
For COVID? Really? I'm confused.
Codeine.
Oh, codeine, but it doesn't have anything to do. Okay, I thought
no.
you said COVID too.
No, if you tested positive for COVID, if you didn't want the vaccine, you're on your own. We're kicking all those people out. We're not looking at anything else.
You were saying you eat poppy seeds, and all of a sudden it was causing you to test positive for COVID.
No.
That would not surprise me. But yeah, this is interesting because the fact that
I just thought it was urban legend.
Well, I mean, I've heard that. I had heard it before that having a lot of poppy seeds would do that. But that's why I'm still amazed that it took this long.
It is interesting, though, that you say the word COVID, because if you look at what the Pentagon is doing, if you are somebody that did not want to take the vaccine, screw you, get out, we're not bringing you back, and go to hell. But if you're somebody that's failed the drug test, well, we got to go back and look at the numbers. We got to go back and look at the urine test. We've got to go back from 2019 to now and make sure.
Maybe it was just too many poppy seed muffins.
Really going out of their way to make the poppy seed crowd happy. But if you had a reason why you didn't want to take the vaccine, like, oh, I don't know, it doesn't work, there's no soup for you, to use a Seinfeld reference. Now, be 100% honest. Have you ever smoked weed in your life?
No.
No, really?
I've done gummies.
But that doesn't count. You've never, lit up a doob. You've never had a big doobie.
Well, does it count if it comes through another means?
Like you've hit a bong?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that counts then.
I don't like the way it feels in my throat otherwise.
Well, you just broke the YouTube chat. I can tell you that right now, Mindy. Allison, when was the last time, if ever, you took part in a doob?
I would say college.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And we're talking a long time ago for me now. So we're talking over 20 plus years.
Right.
But this leads us down a conversation of great moments in doobies where Chris Farley's character on Saturday Night Live was doing the motivational speech to David Spade.
Now, young man, what do you want to do with your life?
Actually, Matt, I kind of want to be a writer.
Well, frickin' duh! We got ourselves a writer here. Now, I wonder, from what I've heard, you're using your paper not for writing, but for rolling doobies. You're going to be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
I don't know what people call it anymore, but the word doobies just doesn't get used enough.
Right.
Like back in the day, everybody said doobies. There
Doobie
was
Brothers.
A Doobie Brothers. Right. Hit Machine, Doobie Brothers. But now you never hear anybody say, hey, come on over here and light that doobie. Doobie is one of those fun words I would love to see back in pop culture vernacular. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Selling your house, it can be one of the most stressful experiences in life. It doesn't have to be. It's Matt Bear here. Hi. Last-minute showings and never-ending negotiations can't be a thing. It should be exciting. No anxiety. I had so much of that when I sold my house north of Indy. It felt like a lifetime of negotiations, and I even sold my furniture because, boom, closing time. I'm out. I could have skipped the hassle and sold directly to Open Door. I could have closed in a matter of days and focused on what's ahead in life. There isn't always a perfect time to move. Open Door can help any time be a perfect time. Take control of your move when you start with Open Door. Request an all-cash offer in minutes. Open Door eliminates the most stressful parts of selling your home, like showings and long, tedious negotiations. Start with a free all-cash offer on your house today at opendoor.com. That's opendoor.com. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 020611330 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC in its other markets.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 38,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Good morning, sports fans from Indianapolis, Indiana.
This is where heroes become legends, and legends become legendary.
Elio Castro Neves joins the four-time winners club.
This is a special blend of speed,
Sam Horton Jr. makes the pass, they'll win it.
tradition,
You just don't know what Indy means.
and magic.
Sullivan's lost it.
This is the Indy 500, but you've never seen this 500. This is May.
Get your tickets now at IMS.com.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How his trip went. 63 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis with a clear radar. Lows all the way down to 25 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visited the site of the Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio today. Jaden Arnold reports.
Residents of East Palestine are worried about the impact on drinking water, pets, crops, and livestock. During his visit, the former South Bend mayor commended the work already being done.
A number of federal personnel, including EPA, FEMA, and others who have been doing phenomenal work from day one in order to make sure that this community is supported.
The EPA has ordered Norfolk Southern to clean up the site of the train derailment or face federal fines and penalties. Jaded Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
One person was killed, another hurt in a shooting off 36th Street on the east side this afternoon. IMPD says officers responded to the shooting just before 1, not far from 38th Street and Sherman Drive. The person who was hurt is in the hospital. Police have not released any more information. There are thousands of power outages in Michigan because of a terrible winter storm that's moving through parts of the West and Midwest. Over 800,000 people had no power earlier today, according to PowerOutage.us. There are more who don't have power in Illinois and Wisconsin. It's been warmer than you might expect this week, but temperatures are supposed to drop this evening.
But tonight you're going to feel it just because the dew points are going to be so low that temperatures are able to drop overnight fairly quickly. So we're looking at overnight lows in the low 20s to upper 20s across central Indiana.
Then you've got highs in the 40s Friday, says Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service. He says things could warm back up by the weekend, though. The average price for gas in Indiana today, $3.27 per gallon of regular. According to Gas Buddy, it's down a few cents from where it was Monday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:32.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-787-2319. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-787-2319.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-787-2319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners, too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-787-2319.
With traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Bear.
Stop and go traffic southbound 69 from 106th Street down to 82nd. And a bit of a slowdown on Keystone Parkway. It's going to be northbound lanes from 106th to 116th. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Should be a great day today. High temps low to mid 60s, slightly breezy with a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures will fall quickly later on this evening. Lows will bottom out in the mid 20s. We're in store for a chilly end to your work week. Highs near 40 with a mostly sunny sky. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Toddler hit by gunfire. 93 WIBC.
Injuries tonight consistent with a gunshot wound.
Staying at an Airbnb on the north side of downtown.
A toddler and their family should not have to be in this type of situation.
Hear the news.
The East Palestine train derailment. Norfolk Southern will pay for cleaning up the mess that they created.
Another update is just minutes away.
President Donald Trump visiting with officials and people here today.
A massive winter storm taking aim at the country's midsection.
93 WIBC.
On game night, our team is 17,000 strong.
Jackson went up with one hand, sledgehammered it down.
When you ride with these Indiana Pacers Pacers, you'll feel the energy inside Gamebridge Fieldhouse from tip-off through the final buzzer.
Knows where the clock is, lets it fly, and hits again!
Keep the energy flowing, Pacer Nation. Let's get revved up.
Your Pacers collide with the Eastern Conference leading Boston Celtics Thursday at 7. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Celtics Thursday at 7.
You're listening to
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Tommy Lahren is no stranger to controversy.
I have a question for the self-righteous Hollywood liberal.
Fox News contributor Tommy Lahren.
Tommy Lahren.
Tommy Lahren. Joining us right now, Tommy Lahren. Tommy Lahren.
Please welcome Tommy Lahren. It's this country, the country that you have so much disdain for, that allows you the right to speak your mind. It protects your right to be a whiny, indulgent, attention-seeking crybaby.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out today. Mindy Winkler filling in and joining us now on the DriveHubler.com hotline. From Fox News and host of Tommy Lahren is Fearless on Outkick. Tommy Lahren joins us. Tommy, sounds like Mayor Pete finally made it to Ohio earlier today. I saw the photo of him with the big helmet on that didn't fit, and it kind of looked like the Mike Dukakis popping out of the tank picture. Just curious on your thoughts on what you've seen with everything involved with that chemical disaster in Ohio.
Well, hey, listen, I don't think it's a coincidence. Donald Trump announces he's going to East Palestine, and then all of a sudden FEMA decides that maybe they should go, and then Donald Trump actually goes to East Palestine, and then all of a sudden Pete Buttigieg decides it is the, quote, right time to finally make his trip. I mean, it's 3 weeks later, but I guess better late than never if you're actually going to do something. But the problem here is if he would have gone immediately, I would have given him some credit. I would have said, listen, at least he's there. He's showing support. Half of it is just showing up. But when it takes you 3 weeks and a former president to go there before you, I'm sorry, I don't give you a whole lot of credit. I don't give this administration a whole lot of credit. Joe should be there. He should have been there 10 days ago as well. So, again, these people are poor white Trump supporters, so you can see this administration doesn't think much of them, and it's as plain as day to me.
That's one of the things that we've been talking about a lot. Had this happened in San Francisco or Seattle or Portland or New York, I guarantee you, you would have had Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris. They would have taken Air Force One there the very next day.
Yeah. No, they absolutely would have. And, again, if they can exploit it, they can use it for their purposes, and they run there very quickly. Anything that they believe will get them votes and will garner them some kind of attention from voting base that they need. But they know that this small town in Ohio, they know that it's a Trump town. They know it's never going to be a Democrat town, so they ignore it. But, you know, I talked about this on my show earlier today. It seems like it's really tone deaf and ridiculous that they don't show up to these kind of things. But if you look at the track record of this administration, when they ignore things, they get away with it, and it largely works. There is a little bit of outcry for maybe a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks. But if you look at everything from the border crisis to the classified documents and the Hunter Biden laptop, this administration has a strategy. Ignore it long enough, and it'll go away. And unfortunately, in every instance, they've been proven correct.
If this tragedy would have happened, like we said, in a Democrat city and Donald Trump were the president and he hopped on Air Force One and went to go meet with another world leader like Biden did with Ukraine, it'd be DEFCON 1 on MSNBC and CNN. But you're right, Tommy. They're going to skate. They're going to get away with this because 90% of the national media here is basically just an extended arm of the Democrats.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it would already have annoyed me that our president spent President's Day over there kissing Zelensky's butt for the 20th time. That would have already annoyed me. But when you've got your own people suffering, and I talked about this the other day as well, but here's what really bothers me about this. We all know this because we come from relatively flyover states, if you will. Indiana, you talk about South Dakota, Ohio, all states that people don't really give a whole lot of crap about, let's be honest, right? So we care right now, but what happens in 2 weeks when we as conservatives stop putting the attention and the pressure on fixing the situation in East Palestine, Ohio? Those people are still going to have to live with this for months, for years, maybe even generations to come. And that's the part that really breaks my heart, because I know what it's like to be from a place that people don't really care about. And eventually the cameras and the headlines are going to go away, and these people are still stuck with this. And it is absolutely heartbreaking.
Tommy, this is Mindy Winkler. I'm really geeking out right now because I love you. As someone that is considered, you're welcome. As someone that Don Lemon would consider past her prime, I'm thrilled to be on here with you today. So I wanted to get your thoughts on the way he ripped Nikki Haley and other women like myself that we're past our prime, and what he's, the counseling he's now getting from CNN.
Well, here's the deal on this. When he said it and I heard it, I was like, wow, this is really cringy. But if you look at some of the things that Don Lemon has said, I can't believe that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, he has essentially called conservatives and Trump supporters rednecks, small town, ignorant, KKK supporting, Nazis. So listen, his comment about women was insulting to women. It was sexist. But when you look at all the things that he said in the past, to me, the fact that this is getting so much attention, that is what quite honestly offends me, because there's been so much more. But it just goes to show that even the people at CNN, they don't really care if he offends giant groups of people. But when he started to offend older liberal women, that was the problem.
Right.
Yeah, and it's bizarre to me, Tommy, because it looks like Don Lemon wants to get fired, right? This is the quiet quitting that everybody's talking about. He wants to get fired so he can get a gig at the Atlantic or MSNBC or somewhere else. And yet this counseling that they're giving him just seems like a waste of time. Why not just send everybody on their happy way, cut ways with Don Lemon, and just move on? Why won't they do that?
Well, I don't really think they have a whole lot of talent at CNN to count on. So as much as it seems like Don Lemon has been a problem for them, I mean, if you look at it, he is the name there right now. And you've lost a lot of their heavyweights, so to speak. So I don't think that they have room to start getting rid of some of their big names. They've already got dismal ratings. And I think sometimes controversy stirs up ratings. So that's why I think the whole pulling him off the show for a week, then bringing him back. I mean, I'm sure more people stay tuned to watch his return than they did previous to this whole scandal. And quite frankly, I think it's kind of smart of CNN to lean into the scandal because they need it.
Tommy Lahren is our guest from Outkick. Tommy Lahren is fearless every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 o'clock. I'll admit, one story that I don't think I have done a very good job in reporting on is this church revival, the Asbury revival. We've had a lot of stuff in the news cycle, sexy headlines. We're talking about Chinese spy balloons. We're talking about disasters in Ohio. I'll admit, I don't think I've given this story as much time as I possibly should have, Tommy. You've posted about this on Twitter. You had this on your show the other night. What does this revival, this Asbury revival, say about religion in this country?
Well, I think that religion is making a slow but sure comeback. I really do. I believe that people are looking at this country and they don't know who to turn to and who to trust. And that's largely the government, the media, health officials, public safety officials. People don't know who to trust anymore because there's so much misinformation. There's so much division. And so I think that people have now been driven back to God. And it's unfortunate that it took this kind of a setting to get people to return to God. But I think people are searching and they want truth and they want answers. And they realize that the eternal truth is our Lord and Savior. Maybe, just maybe, this is the revival. This is the great comeback, and I sure hope that it is.
And it seems like good stories never get the headlines they deserve. We live in a news cycle where if it's a sensational headline, if it's something catastrophic or a scandal.
Don Henley wrote a song, Dirty Laundry.
Dirty Laundry,
that's what
right.
it's all about.
This is what's going to get the clicks and the eyeballs to the stories. But man, it feels like this is America. The folks that don't really give two rats' asses about watching the news or getting on social media, this is America. And I think it's a great story.
No, it's a fantastic story. And to me, seeing young people, I think that's the biggest thing is we just keep hearing the statistics about young people moving away from faith and religion and the church. And the fact that we are really seeing so many young people that are gravitating back towards it, I think we need to highlight it because not everything is doom and gloom. You know, the sun is out today in Nashville, Tennessee. We still live in the greatest nation on the face of the earth. And I think that we do need to do a better job of reminding people that there is hope because there are a lot of people that have lost it.
Last thing here before we let you go, Tommy. This kooky, weird grand jury four-person in Georgia doing a media tour in regards to the Donald Trump possible indictment. This chick reminds me of like the stunt double from Isla Fisher in Wedding Crashers. I mean, she's screwed up in the head. There's something wrong there, and she's doing a media tour. What do you think about what's happening there?
Well, it's so inappropriate. And again, you know, I'm actually doing my final thoughts on this tonight on my Outkick show. But, you know, just watching her, first of all, it pissed me off. It pissed me off because it's quite obvious that she's not impartial. It's quite obvious that she takes some kind of a weird joy in the fact that she could be a part of prosecuting and ending Donald Trump. I mean, that makes her giddy and excited inside. But then, you know, watching her further, something like you said is not right here. And I can't help but feel like she's being exploited at some degree by the media. I mean, I think that they're so attention-seeking for something to talk about of Donald Trump that they'll put somebody that is clearly unstable on TV to do a press tour, even though it is completely inappropriate, just because that's how Trump deranged they truly are.
Well, and you'd think that they'd be thinking how this is going to hurt the prosecution, not help them.
Well, I think that they know the way the justice system works at this point. So whether the Trump team can use this and call for a mistrial because of it or use it in future litigation, I don't think that they think that that's going to be a real concern for them because they see what they've been able to do and railroad Donald Trump for years on false pretenses. So they are so brazen at this point, I really don't think that they care. I don't even think it even factors in.
Why do all these young liberals look the same? Like every young liberal dude has got like the pube mustache, the piercings, you know, a scumbag picture. And it feels like every single one of these woke activist liberals looks like this woman, whether it's that girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried or this kooky chick in Georgia. They all look the same, Tommy.
Well, you know, Trump derangement syndrome is an unforgiving physical disease, unfortunately. And I think we are seeing it manifest itself in horrible ways. And I just can't help but to feel badly for these people. I think what they need is a revival in their own lives. Come back to God, come back to your senses, and maybe, just maybe, that will be the fountain of youth or the fountain of beauty, the fountain of something will return to their bodies and soul.
Tomi Lahren is fearless on Outkick. Check out the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 o'clock. Get the latest trending topics, interviews, special guests. Tommy, I always love it when you come on our program, and I feel like I accomplished something because I got the word pube in our conversation today.
You know what? That is always an accomplishment, and I'm so glad that I could be here when you did it.
Tommy, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
I really like our plumbers at Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. They know their lines. They know water lines, drain lines, clog lines, pickup lines. Okay, maybe in their younger days. When I was a kid, there was a game show on TV called What's My Line? Our plumbers would have been world champions. Along with Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing having the best plumbers around, they're also very nice, clean, and pleasant guys to have in your home. So the next time you have trouble in the kitchen, laundry, or bathroom, throw us a line at Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. 255 Heat, where you can trust your flush to us.
Hey, it's Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's our 96th birthday, so we're having a sale. Now through Monday, save on everything from Lazy Boy, Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern, mattresses by Sealy, Stearns & Foster, even Tempur-Pedic. Spring is right around the corner, so save big on Berlin Gardens and Pollywood Outdoor Furniture. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery and interest-free financing.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Don't trust your home improvement projects to out-of-state franchise companies. Stay local and buy local with B Window, family-owned for 40 years.
Trust me.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer. It's just pumped up here. Looking at southbound 65 from 465 to Thompson Road. That is now stop and go traffic. Also on the south side, eastbound 465. It slows, just dragging a bit after Man Road over to I-65. And eastbound 465, stop and go northeast side before Keystone over to Allisonville. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Don't trust your home improvement projects to out-of-state franchise companies. Stay local and buy local with B Window, family owned for 40 years. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
62 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Rolling with you on a Thursday. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Mindy Winkler filling in for Big Nige. We got the YouTube stream up. Just look for that on the WIBC YouTube channel. We've retweeted it at Hammer and Nigel. I don't know why, Mindy, but we get more viewers when you're here. It's weird.
Aw.
That's shocking. More people would rather see you than Nigel or myself. I don't know why that is.
Thank y'all.
I know you're an IU fan.
Yes.
You and your husband, big
My
IU
husband
backers.
lives IU, yes.
You going to the game on Saturday up at West Lafayette?
No, we went to the one where we won at Assembly Hall, though. So,
okay.
Yes. But
So-
no, we'll be watching it, of course.
IU and Purdue this Saturday night, the rematch up at Purdue in Mackey Arena. But if you're an IU fan, today is a special date on the calendar. Only in Indiana would this day be a day that you would look at and go, I know exactly what happened 38 years ago today. Happy anniversary, Bob Knight throwing the chair across the floor in the game against Purdue.
Two-shot technical against the bench and against Bob Knight. Steve Reed, an excellent free throw shooter, will have the honors shooting the technicals.
Looky here. Bobby Knight just threw his chair clear across the free throw lane.
And I think Fred
Unbelievable.
And Bob Knight is gone.
38 years ago today, Mindy.
I love the crowd reaction. It just goes incredibly nuts. My husband has a picture of that in our basement where his Bobby Knight shrine is.
And what's great is sitting next to the coach is our pal Dan Dockich, right? And he's sitting there. He's kind of got his hands like over his mouth. Doesn't even faze him. And we've asked him about this before. It's like, we've seen crazier stuff happen before. That was normal. So 38 years ago today, Coach Knight throwing the chair. And again, IU Purdue, the rematch this Saturday night, a game you can hear right here at 93 WIBC. If you're looking for a reason to celebrate tonight, it's National Chili Day, Mindy.
Yum.
You a chili fan?
I am.
All right. So the $1 million question. Anytime somebody starts talking about chili, do noodles belong in chili?
Absolutely. I don't like it if it doesn't have noodles, and especially the macaroni kind.
Because this is the kind of thing that breaks up families. This is the kind of thing where people fight about noodles belonging in chili, and your team noodles.
Absolutely. I get mad if my husband doesn't put the noodles in the chili.
All right, I've got thoughts on this. Allison, hit my music. When in the course of events, we have to make a decision. Do we mix peanut butter with jelly? Do we put beer to bratwursts? Do we let kid and play do a movie together? The answer has always been yes. So when the time comes and you have to make that decision, do I put noodles in my chili? The answer is yes.
Yes!
This is the United States of America. Bald eagles are flying around, and it was Thomas Jefferson who wrote in the Constitution, you can do what you want with chili. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Did you learn that at Beech Grove?
That's a Ball State and Beech Grove education.
Yeah, no Ball State in there.
Do what you want with chili. Put the noodles in there. Have fun. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Is the service that connects hard of hearing Hoosiers, giving them equal access through captioned telephones so they can keep their independence. This life-giving self-sufficiency is critical when deafness takes away the importance and joy of phone conversations. With equipment and services from Relay Indiana, those with hearing loss can read what the caller is saying. The advanced technology of the CapTel caption telephone provides normal phone conversations through voice recognition, keeping Hoosiers with hearing loss connected so they stay involved and participate, preventing the severe problems that isolation can cause. If you can't hear, then seeing a caller's words on the easy-to-read screen of a captioned telephone makes all the difference in the world. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Know someone who needs the independence that this self-reliance will provide? Help them get the CapTel captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Did you miss the Sullivan Hardware and Garden patio furniture sale last weekend? Well, you didn't miss it all. Due to tremendous response, we've held over the best pricing of the season on premium patio furniture. Hi, Pat Sullivan here. Have you seen all the patio furniture at Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Teak, cast aluminum, all-weather wicker, Berlin garden poly furniture, and much more. Many customers ask me, why is our patio furniture different? Well, we specialize in excellent quality, mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 17,000 square foot warehouse. And again, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, patio furniture already pre-season priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. You can even order your own custom cushions at no extra charge. Come see for yourself once again this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Patio furniture already pre-season priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, and in Cicero. Online at sullivanhardware.com.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Skyworks Equipment Rental of Indianapolis has immediate openings for experienced parts coordinators, heavy equipment mechanics, CDL drivers, and outside sales reps. Full-time with medical, disability, PTO, 401k, and more. Apply today at skyworksllc.com/jobs. Skyworks, building America from the ground up.
Coming up in 2 minutes, after a warm couple days in central Indiana, temperatures are supposed to drop tonight. IMPD is investigating after 2 people were shot this afternoon, and how a man who robbed several banks was caught by the cops. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Get out of Ukraine. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The UN just passing a resolution calling on Russia to withdraw its forces, though it's non-binding. Tomorrow marks 1 year since Russia's invasion, and White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says the U.S. will announce new sanctions on Russia while monitoring China's potential plans to provide weapons to Russia.
We haven't seen them provide the support, but again, we're going to continue monitoring this and speak out when needed.
She also says there's no change in China policy, referring reporters to the Defense Department for questions about the U.S. sending more troops to Taiwan for a training program. Just getting word that actor Alec Baldwin pleads not guilty to felony charges of involuntary manslaughter in the film set shooting that killed a cinematographer in 2021. Court documents filed today show Baldwin also waived his first formal court appearance, and a judge set conditions of release that include limiting contact with potential witnesses in connection with plans to complete the filming of Rust. Baldwin and the movie's armorer are charged in the shooting that killed Helena Hutchins and wounded the Rust director. Sheriff's officials in Florida say the 19-year-old suspect in multiple shootings yesterday that left 3 people dead is a known gang member with a criminal history. Lawyers for Keith Melvin Moses waiving his initial court appearance today. A judge ordering him held without bond.
Police say Moses shot 5 people, killing 3. Nafacha Augustine, who knew the suspect, Dylan Lyons, a reporter covering the story, and 9-year-old Tiana Major, not connected to the suspect. Orange County Sheriff John Mina says he expects multiple murder charges. Witness interviews and video tell him that.
We're not looking for anyone else. He's our guy. He's the suspect.
Weapons possession and robbery are among the charges on Moses' lengthy juvenile record.
Fox's Gernal Scott. A late rally on Wall Street. The Dow up 111 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
You know what they say about weather in Indiana. Sunny 62 on Monument Circle. All clear of the radar, but it is windy. You've got a low of 24 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Don't get comfortable yet. These warm temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly tonight.
But tonight you're going to feel it just because the dew points are going to be so low that temperatures are able to drop overnight fairly quickly. So we're looking at overnight lows in the low 20s to upper 20s across central Indiana.
And you'll have highs in the 40s Friday, says Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service. He says things are supposed to warm up later in the weekend, though, and even more next week. One person was killed, another was hurt in a shooting off 36th Street on the east side this afternoon. Indy Metro Police say officers responded to the shooting just before 1. It wasn't far from the 38th Street and Sherman Drive intersection. The person who was hurt is in the hospital. Police have not said anything about a suspect yet, but they are talking to witnesses in the area. A man from Indianapolis pulled off over 3 bank robberies in the span of 6 months, and then he was caught. Donnie Burgess reports.
The message to each bank teller was simple. No sudden moves, no alarms, no one gets hurt. Richard Gaiman walked into 2 banks and walked out with hundreds of dollars in cash, but his 3rd bank robbery attempt in April of 2021 was not as successful. Gaiman walked out of the PNC Bank in Fishers, and by the time he got back to his apartment, police moved in and arrested him. Gaiman will spend the next 3 years in prison and will have to pay restitution to the banks he robbed. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A bill that would prohibit the teaching of human sexuality in kindergarten kindergarten through third grade and require teachers to notify parents if a child wants to change their pronouns. Passed the Indiana House today, 65-29. It's on its way to the Senate next. Former South Bend mayor and current Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was in East Palestine, Ohio today. He says it's going to take some time to figure out why a train carrying toxic chemicals derailed.
Their final work on this will take a while to come out, but having these factual findings is an important step toward being able to move on to the phase of policymaking.
He's calling on Congress to hold freight companies accountable for their safety record and urged rail operators to stop fighting federal agencies tooth and nail on the rules. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at the south side right now, and we are delayed on southbound 65. Just a tad right now from 465 to Thompson Road. Eastbound lanes, though, grinding a bit from Harding over to I-65. And the westbound lanes have tightened up from 65 past South Meridian Street. Eastbound 72, downtown slow roll out of Tibbs over to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65, stop and go around the hoof into the north split. And eastbound 465 jams at Keystone. Traffic sponsored by Dell Technologies. Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with the tools to do incredible things. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-ADEL. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a much colder night as temperatures fall into the mid-20s with wind chill values in the teens by Friday morning. Have that winter coat for Friday overall with highs only in the upper 30s to low 40s with plenty of afternoon sunshine. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos? On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it! It is the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Producer Allison is here. Matt Bear is back in the WIBC Traffic Center. And Mindy Winkler, pinch hitting for Big Nige today. Mindy, nice to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We got a lot of stuff to get to, and they all have a certain theme. So let's tie it all up together, and let's do some legal stuff. Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff. So it's been a busy news cycle. We've had the Ohio disaster. We've had things happening here in Indiana, controversial things happening at the State House and whatnot. So the border and what's happening there might be flying under the radar just a little bit. But it warrants your attention because Title 42 expires May 11th. And this kind of came out a couple days ago, didn't get a lot of attention, but a change in what happens legally at the border is in the works.
Really?
In a pivot to tighter border enforcement, the Biden administration has issued a formal notice for a new measure penalizing asylum seekers who cross the border illegally and threaten fast-track deportation for those who break the rules. So this is totally against everything that they stand for and have said before. So what do we do with this information? On one hand, you could look at this and go, okay, they're going to talk tough but not do anything, and it's going to be business as usual. Or number two,
This is some sort of focus group, some sort of group going to the Biden administration and saying, you're going to have your backside handed to you in 2024 if you don't do something about this border, because May 11th, when Title 42 goes away, if you just keep it like it is right now, it's going to be a mess, and that's going to be bad for business. So which one do you think it is, Mindy?
I think it's the second, in terms of he's doing this because he needs it for the election process.
This plan would deny asylum for those who don't first try to seek safety by claiming asylum in Mexico or any country that they come through, or if they don't use this app program that the Biden administration has rolled out. So for those of you scoring at home, the new migration plan relies heavily on people who don't speak English using the map and the cooperation of Mexico. What could possibly go wrong? And Democrats are upset about this. You've got old Nads, Jayapal, Cory Booker, Menendez, Padilla, all your favorite TV
Well, yeah, because their
pals.
constituents are going to be thinking, what's happening? We're all about bring everybody in, open doors.
So one question I have for you, and I think you're a good person to ask this, Mindy, as a voter in a state that's not a border state, although one would argue all states are border states now. Elise Stefanik, the House rep from New York, tweeted earlier, border security is national security. So I get that. But if somebody that is living in Indiana, how important is what's happening at the border to you? So a year from May, not this May, but next May, when it's the Indiana primary, and you've got Donald Trump on the ballot, maybe DeSantis is going to be there, you've got some other names on there. Where does border security rank for these candidates for them to get your vote?
It's not at the top. I mean, I do plan on retiring in the South and maybe like to get it fixed before then. But right now, I don't feel that affects me as much as inflation is affecting me. The economy is affecting me.
Is it really all just about the money, to be honest?
Yes.
It's inflation, it's the economy, it's jobs, it's the supply chain issues.
Yeah.
And then I think you get into things like, for the Democrats, it would be abortion. For the Republicans, it would be what's happening at the border. And that's interesting because this has the ability, if this plan doesn't go the way they think it's going to be, you think it's bad at the border now. May 12th, May 11th, it's going to be insane when Title 42 goes away, unless they kind of backtrack a little bit and, dare we say, do some Donald Trump-like things when it comes to asylum seekers. It's going to be interesting. More legal stuff here. The civil trial between the parents of Gabby Petito. She was the slain Florida girl who was killed by Brian Laundrie. And this was a high-profile deal. There's a civil trial going on now between the parents of Gabby Petito and the family of Brian Laundrie. Perhaps no pretrial decision is going to be more consequential than whether or not the, quote, burn after reading letter is going to be let in as evidence. Now, this is some fascinating legal stuff here. So it sounds like Brian Laundrie had a correspondence with his mother.
Right.
And was basically saying what happened, and the mother all but admits she'll help Brian Laundrie dispose of the body, like dig and bury the body. Now, the thing is, the defense is saying, now, wait a minute, there's no date on this letter. These two could be speaking of hypotheticals. This could be something totally unrelated. You can't officially state that this was about Gabby Petito because there's no date on the letter. So they want it thrown out. So now the judge is trying to figure out whether or not this letter has to maintain or be thrown out. To me, it seems like this is pretty cut and dry. But legally, if you can't prove that that letter was about Gabby Petito, what do you do here?
Right.
This is some like TV drama kind of stuff going on here.
Right. Does it actually like mention whether it was an accident and here's how we handle it now, or what do I do, Mom? Or
well, there is the burn after reading at the very end.
Right.
But there's no, specifics of things like that.
Okay.
It's very vague, but it's there. So this letter, again, was written to Brian by his mother, Roberta Laundrie, and now she's kind of become the focus of this civil lawsuit because both parties involved are deceased. Gabby was murdered, and Brian, we believe, took his own life when they found his body in the wooded areas of Florida. It's a fascinating kind of turn of legal stuff here. So, Mindy, let me ask you this, and I want an honest answer, 100%. You are a mother. I know your son, Garrett, going to Purdue now, college kid. I can't believe that kid is that old. I remember him when he was real little. But would you help your son dispose of a body in a situation like that?
Did he deliberately kill someone, or was it an accident situation?
Does it matter?
Kind of does.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
I don't know, because I guess when you're...
So if he accidentally hit somebody and killed them with his car, or brutally murdered them in cold blood, that depends on whether or not you'd help him bury the body?
Well, I think it's in that moment, you know, you might, you know, right now I'd say absolutely not, you know, but there, in that moment, as a parent, you might panic and, you know, like, oh my gosh, I need to help my child. Well, I'm watching this show called Inside Man on Netflix right now. It's literally about that, about, you know, this guy's trying to keep his kid from going to jail. And that's, you know, you kind of step in as a parent, not thinking at times. And so maybe that was her quick reaction was, okay, you know, but if he's plotted this and this has been, you know, long time coming, no.
Right. If this was cold-blooded murder, you have already failed as a parent because something has gone completely screwy with your kid here.
Yes.
But I think it's interesting that you say, if it's an accident, then maybe we got a ball game here. And you know what? I bet you're not the only one. I bet there's a lot of people listening right now that maybe they won't admit it, but in the back of their minds right now, they're thinking, if my son or my daughter called me in a panic, I would try to help them. Hit us up on Twitter. If you're brave enough, if you want to answer this question honestly, hit me up on Twitter at Hammer and Nigel or any one of our social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, the YouTube stream. If your child said, will you help me dispose of the body, would you help them or not? It's a dark question.
It is.
But I think it's interesting. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Yeah, we're staying clear of Raymond Street at Shelby. That is because of a crash right now. A place you want to avoid. It's going to be Raymond Street at South Sherman Drive crash. And a place to avoid. Inbound 65 stop and go 21st Street down to the North Split. Eastbound 72 downtown slows before Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. South side eastbound 465 stop and go before Harding Street over to I-65. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. When you choose Comcast Business, you choose a future-ready next generation 10G network. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
If you're going to the Pacers game tonight, Pacers back in action, home game down at the Fieldhouse, taking on the Celtics. Take a hoodie, take a jacket, because when you go there, it's going to be great. But when you come home tonight, could be a little chilly. These temperatures are going to fall off a cliff once the sun goes down. It's 62 right now, but we're going to get down to 25 tonight. So right now, enjoy it at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. A competitor has the most popular Lazy Boy sofa for $13.99 plus $179 for delivery. We have the same sofa for $1349. Free delivery, interest-free financing, saving you $229 compared to the big stores in Indy. And that's just one sofa. The best prices, the best furniture, free delivery only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Hey, I've been on the Exercise Inc. program for years, and I love it, especially since I don't have a lot of time to spend in a traditional gym. Exercise Inc. is a once-a-week strength training program that lasts for 20 minutes. Now, 20 minutes might not sound like a lot, but let me tell you what Exercise Inc. has done for me. Not only does it save me a bunch of time getting the physical activity my body craves, but I've lost 20 pounds following my personal trainer's guidance on diet and eating habits. So not only am I getting one-on-one coaching inside the gym, but I'm getting help on what to do to stay active and live a healthier lifestyle outside the gym as well. I feel better, lost inches off my waist, had to buy new clothes, and I'm able to chase my kids up and down the stairs without getting winded. Call Exercise Inc. right now to find out more. 317-750-2219 or exerciseinc.com. There are locations all over town: Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, and Zionsville. Call Exercise Inc. Again, that number 750-2219, or visit exerciseinc.com and check out all the success stories. Change your life in 20 minutes a week with Exercise Inc. Well, what can I say about Galaxy Concrete Coatings? They worked a miracle on my garage. They came in and made my garage look brand new, redid the entire floor within a day. And my garage went from looking like something you'd see in a horror movie to a pristine, shiny, beautiful garage floor that's super strong and easy to clean. It looks great. It's not epoxy. It's better. And the color won't fade. Look, I spend a lot of time in my garage, either working in the garage or, especially in the summer, watching sports on a TV I got hanging up in there. I mean, the garage is the first place I enter when I get home from work. Who wants to walk around in a garage with a cracked, old, demolished garage floor? Let Galaxy Concrete come in and change your garage and make it a place you actually want to spend time in. Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. They did an awesome job on my garage floor. Check out pictures, get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 317-751-9070.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Mindy Winkler pinch hitting for Big Nige today. My name is Jason Hammer, and this is how we're going to do Is This Anything? I'm going to run some stories by Mindy. Mindy is going to break down all of the information, weigh out the pros and the cons, and give us a verdict. Is this story anything or not? Is this anything? Newlyweds out of North Carolina had to be rescued out of a broken hotel elevator by firefighters right after their wedding.
Oh.
Here they are talking about being trapped for 2 hours and then getting rescued out of the elevator.
When it first happened, I thought, oh, it stopped for a few seconds. It'll restart. And then I think we noticed that the door was just slightly ajar.
Elevator had a glitch. It had to happen with the groom and I both stuck in the elevator. So at least it wasn't just one of us. They harnessed me up, pulled me up 4 floors. We were not able to celebrate, do a last hurrah and kisses and goodbyes. And that's what put the damper on everything.
So before we go to you, Mindy, is there anybody in the studio? Allison, we'll start with you. Have you ever been stuck in an elevator?
No, thank goodness. Oh,
You got a little claustrophobia?
I don't think so. Well, in the moment, I probably will. Yes.
Mindy?
I know I have not, and I know I would get claustrophobia in that moment. I would be freaking out.
I've been stuck in an elevator before.
What?
I was DJing a wedding over at the Rathskeller, and I've got my gear with me, and there's about 4 other people in the elevator, and it just stops.
One too many people.
Oh, man. And I'm in there for about 40 minutes, and I'm starting to panic because I got to go DJ a wedding.
Right.
I'm on the clock here. You know, I'm getting paid. So finally, somebody came by, and they were able to get it open, and I just carried everything up the stairs, which was brutal. But, yeah, being stuck in an elevator, it's no fun. And
I was in there with some folks, and again, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not a thin man. I'm not the fattest guy in the world, but I'm not a thin man. I was in there with some big boys.
Oh my! Well, you said you had your gear too, so that's taking up room.
So it was pretty tight in there, and I would never have the luck of being like locked in there with like Kate Upton or my wife and Mindy were in there. No. I'd be stuck in there with like Keith Olbermann and, the guys on the back of the Guinness Records book, the two fat guys on the moped. That's who I would get stuck with. So I turn to you, Mindy Winkler, the newlyweds stuck in the elevator. Is this anything?
It absolutely is something. I'm questioning if it was 2 hours, did they consummate the marriage?
Thank you. Thank you. We were all thinking it, right?
Yes.
We were all wondering.
Aerosmith, loving an elevator. Come on. I mean, that's on everybody's fantasy list. Come on, be real.
If that wasn't their first dance, they did it wrong.
Exactly.
Like, go tell the DJ, we've called an audible, we've changed our minds. We're not going to have Brian McKnight. We're not going to have John Legend. We're dancing to Love in an Elevator from Aerosmith. I like the way you think, Mindy. Is this anything? Here's what happens when this mom found out that her 16-year-old son only tipped $10 on a restaurant bill that was $104.
You need to go get my wallet. You need to go get my Visa card. You need to go to the ATM, and you need to go grab a 20 and drive back to that restaurant because on a $104 check, $10 is a tip. Go now. I'm not asking, I'm telling. It's not funny. Do you know that guy might have kids? Do you know that 104 he gets taxed on it? You are to go grab my credit card, get $20, and drive it back there. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't know how to tip.
That anything?
I love her. She is my hero. I would do the exact same thing. And then on top of that, I would make my 16-year-old go and serve her like Waffle House so they see what it's like.
I'm so cynical, though. And I agree with you 100%. If this is legit, I'm all in. I'm so cynical about these things that go viral that they're all pre-planned. Like, why would you just be recording the moment that your son came into the car or came home with the receipt and you knew how much it was? And there's a lot of things that smell fishy.
Why did you wait all the way till you got home? Wouldn't you have asked him when you got in the car?
Right. Like, I mean, clearly it worked. We're talking about it on our show, and this has gone viral, and I've seen this video all over the place, but I'm so cynical. I think everything is staged that I see on social media right now. I don't know if that's tinfoil hat or what, but it just feels like that was orchestrated. Last one, is this anything? A 20-month-old in Canada was saved by doctors after spending almost 3 hours without a pulse and a body temperature that was under 80 degrees. Waylon Saunders was found unresponsive in a backyard pool at a daycare center. And here is the doctor, one of the doctors that took turns performing CPR for almost 3 hours.
There's not a lot you can do when a child is as cold as he was. In fact, he was so cold we couldn't even get a temperature read on him. So we just knew that he was very cold and needed to be rewarmed. So that was one of the main tasks that the team in Petrolia had to do. And the other was providing high quality CPR. The reason we kept going was because he remained so cold, and so prognosis was uncertain until we could get him to a closer to normal temperature.
Is that anything?
This is a miracle. I'm concerned, about the health of the baby overall, and brain damage potentially and other things like that. But wow, and the diligence of this team to keep doing it. That's amazing.
Sometimes faith is all you have.
Right.
Right. And imagine being a family member of Waylon here. Like, all you have is faith. You're praying to God. You're praying for a miracle that somebody you love is going to make it out okay.
Yeah.
And 3 hours without a pulse, at some point, it's hard to keep the faith.
Right.
But things like this happen.
Yeah.
And when I see stories like this, I always want to get these on the air, because for the people that need faith, man, you need a story to back up your faith sometimes.
That's God right there.
This
Hello.
is it. 100%. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey.
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay. If you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery. We love getting a 6% upfront bonus, but we also love that our investment growth is tax-free because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
That's 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's the time of year when it's really hard not to track in slush and dirt into the home. And between the kids, the dogs, and even ourselves just coming and going, the floors and carpets could really use some help. Zero Res is my go-to team for cleaning carpets, hardwood floors, ceramic tile and grout, and even area rugs to give them that smart, lasting clean. I call them because no one can clean like Zero Res because only Zero Res cleans with patented electrolyzed water. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals. That proprietary technology cleans your carpets without flooding the carpet padding. The patented ZR water technology cleans surfaces without the use of detergents or harsh chemicals because the water itself attracts the dirt and it does it quickly and efficiently to leave that carpet soft and fluffy and they stay cleaner longer. They have over 3,000 Google reviews with 4.95 out of 5-star rating. And right now, when you mention WIBC, you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $139. Call 388-5141 or schedule your appointment at ZeroResIndy.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How his trip to Ohio went. Partly cloudy, 55 degrees on Monument Circle. You've got a clear radar with lows to the mid-20s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Transportation Secretary and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg was in East Palestine, Ohio today, getting a closer look at the damage caused by that train derailment earlier this month. He says finding all the answers as to why it crashed may take some time.
Their final work on this will take a while to come out. But having these factual findings is an important step toward being able to move on to the phase of policymaking.
He's calling on Congress to hold freight companies accountable for their safety record and urged rail operators to stop fighting federal agencies tooth and nail on the rules. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president has no complaints about the response after that train wreck.
The president is certainly again staying updated on what is occurring on the ground, but also appreciative of the work that his multi-agencies have been doing over the past several weeks.
Some Republicans say the visit from Buttigieg today is too late and the Biden administration's been too slow to respond. Ice and freezing rain are what's behind hundreds of thousands of power outages in several states. Most of those outages are in Michigan. Also, 1,000 flights have been canceled so far today. The Minneapolis airport has been hit the hardest. Flying in Portland and Boston has also been rough. It's supposed to be cold tonight.
Tomorrow it'll be near seasonal, so around 40 here for Indianapolis, but then we quickly warm back up as we get to the weekend. So it's a brief shot of cold air.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis expects temperatures to get back into the 50s and 60s in a few days. He also thinks that rain is likely Monday. A bill that would prohibit the teaching of human sexuality in kindergarten through 3rd grade and require teachers to notify parents if a child wants to change their pronouns passed the Indiana House today with a vote of 65 to 29. It's on its way to the Senate next. Your stock report, the Dow finished up 108 today to 33,153. The NASDAQ went up 83 points to 11,590. The S&P 500 up 21, closing today at 4,012. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs, Ox gets it fixed, free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote, 800-787-2319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-787-2319. 800-787-2319.
With traffic at 434, here's Matt Bear.
Raymond and South Sherman Streets, just avoid for now. It is a crash, and the intersection is just bedlam at the moment. We are looking at the south side, eastbound 465, stop and go from Kentucky Avenue over to I-65. Westbound lanes also jamming 65 to 31, eastbound 72 downtown, slowing up from Belmont to the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a much colder night as temperatures fall into the mid-20s with wind chill values in the teens by Friday morning. Have that winter coat for Friday overall with highs only in the upper 30s to low 40s with plenty of afternoon sunshine. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Interesting story in the IBJ a couple days ago. Now, again, I'm not anti-IBJ. I actually like a lot of the work they do over there. I've got some friends that still work over there. I have no beef with the IBJ, but this story about crime on the decline, I have some questions about. So they have this story, crime on the decline, and they break down all the facts and numbers, and facts are there. And I've got people coming at me on social media now because I talk about what I see in downtown all the time.
On a daily, pretty much.
On the daily. I mean, I showed you a video before we came on the air today of certain things that I've seen.
Disturbing.
Down here. But you look at some of the numbers compared to like 2010. And again, this is from the IBJ. They're going to say that all crimes are down. Nonviolent crimes are down. Other violent crimes, it's kind of a seesaw. It goes up and down just a little bit. And I got people coming at me, you said downtown was a hellhole. Rabble, rabble, rabble. Downtown doesn't have as many homicides as it has before. All I can tell you is what I see on the daily basis.
Right.
And oh, by the way, homicides and manslaughters in Indianapolis have gone up the last 3 years. The last 3 years are the highest 3 years in the history. The long history of Indianapolis as a city. That's the record. The worst 3 years, the last 3 years.
Oh, and who's been in charge?
Right. So it's kind of a bizarre flex to try to come to me. You said downtown crime was out of control. The numbers say otherwise. If you want to tell me that nonviolent crimes are down and theft is down, be my guest. But go have a conversation with the folks at Starbucks, because Starbucks decided to close their doors on Monument Circle.
And ruin my world.
And ruin Mindy's world because of the crime situation and
Right.
what was happening outside of their establishment. Now, Starbucks, last time I checked, Mindy, was not some sort of conservative, friendly barbecue joint based out of Texas.
Yeah.
Starbucks
I do regret that I give them any money.
is the woke of the woke here.
Yes.
So it's flooring me that people are coming at us on social media. Well, you look at these numbers. Crime is going down in Indianapolis. And that's the ridiculous claim that Boss Hogsett has. Well, we didn't set a record last year, so crime is going down. We were number 3 all time last year.
That is such a weird flex to me. And then I started thinking about this. I'm wondering if this IBJ article is really just designed to carry the water of Vop Osley of the City County Council, because he rolled out this downtown reinvention agenda. That's what it's called, the DRA, the Downtown Reinvention Agenda. Now, Vop Osley, he wants to be mayor. He's probably next man up once Boss Hogsett decides that I'm done. He is probably going to be the next guy. I know Ryan Mears doesn't want to hear that because he wants to be mayor too. But Vop Osley is trying to lay the groundwork with this downtown reinvention agenda. Okay, so what's in the downtown reinvention agenda? I'm glad you asked. Here are the things that they're focused on: preventing crime, use of their budget to stop crime, and to get more people to come back downtown. Now, Mindy, why would a city that, according to the IBJ, has crime figured out, need to have a plan that highlights what they're going to do to fight crime and have a plan to get people to come back downtown? Why did they leave in the first place?
Right. And then so let's use a media source to say, oh, we're making that kind of progress, so this is actually working.
Whether it's, the cost of operating downtown, what happened with coronavirus where people were told to stay home, or the crime, tens of thousands of people no longer work in downtown Indianapolis. And that's affected a lot of business around here. These stores, these diners, these restaurants, coffee shops that needed the foot traffic of people doing business in Indianapolis no longer have that. But I think, like the folks at Starbucks, a lot of them decided, you know what? This city does not have my back. Windsor Jewelry, they did not feel protected when the riots broke out.
Right.
A lot of these businesses down on the Circle, when the riots broke out, these were Democrat businesses, donors to Democrats. They decided they're not going to donate any more money because of what happened. They were basically just thrown to the wolves while these lunatics broke their windows and looted out their stores.
Well, and they're probably thinking they're just waiting for the next shoe to drop. It's the calm before the storm. Yeah, might be as bad, quote unquote.
Right.
But not to say that it could be right around the corner again, because we don't have the resources. Our resources aren't supported.
And listen, with downtown Indianapolis, when it comes to the crime, I'm talking about the main touristy areas here. You are not supposed to have these type of killings at tourist places.
Right.
Chicago is a violent city, but for the most part, when you go on like their touristy areas, it's okay. It's mainly the south side of Chicago that's a problem. When you walk up and down the Las Vegas Strip, you probably feel pretty safe when you're in front of the Bellagio fountains.
Right.
When you go to New York, there are some things in Times Square, but you feel pretty safe for the most part in Times Square.
Right.
Here in Indianapolis the last couple of years, I remember a Wild West style shootout in front of Steak and Shake.
Right.
I remember the 3 Dutch nationals that were shot, 2 of them killed in front of the Hampton Inn. There's a reason why police cars have to be on Monument Circle on the weekends and that part of South Meridian where Tiki Bob's used to operate in those bars.
And why bar owners like that are pulling out. They're like, we're done. We're tired of dealing with it.
Right. There's a reason those happen. These are our touristy areas. The canal. When we hosted all of March Madness a couple of years ago, a broadcaster from one of the other teams, I believe it was Oregon State, got assaulted on the canal.
Wow.
This is a problem with Indianapolis, but some of these progressives, some of these woke folks on Twitter, they want to tell you that everything's fine. No, it's not fine. I get there are murders on the east side. There are murders on the south side. But you're not supposed to have these types of things happen in high-profile tourist areas. Other cities do this so much better than Indianapolis. And it goes down to the leadership of Boss Hogsett. It goes to Ryan Mears, your prosecutor, locking up habitual bad guys. People who should never be back out on the streets should be locked up.
Right.
But they're not. They get hit with a detention bracelet. They go out, take it off, and they commit more crimes.
Well, when we had the Super Bowl here, people commented how safe they felt while they were here.
Right.
So that's proof right there that this administration has caused this decline.
And one of the things that always cracks me up is we always get like the smart ass that'll send us a message. I'm having a beer outside on Mass Ave. I don't see any violence right now. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. But I'm telling you, when the sun goes down in this city, something happens. Because I walked around Monument Circle earlier today. I like to do that before the show. And when the sun is up, downtown can be a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. You see people walking up the stairs of the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, families, doing field trips down there with their schools and stuff. It's awesome because that's the kind of stuff that I used to do when I was a kid. Sure. I want people to have that same feeling of Indianapolis. But man, when the sun goes down, what was it, Houdini that said the freaks come out at night? Yeah. The freaks come out at night, and that's when the temperature changes like that in the city.
I can tell you I would not be doing my Hank show from 7 p.m. to midnight if we didn't have a parking garage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. And my husband wouldn't allow it either.
So this downtown reinvention agenda from Vop Osley, this is basically his plan to say, please come back to Indianapolis. I want to be mayor. Please, for the love of God, come back to this city. We need you working. We need more money here. And by the way, we'll also make it safer for you. Will that make you feel any better? It's so crazy. All these people on social media, well, downtown is safe according to the IBJ. Okay. Then why is so much money being spent on law enforcement down here? Why are police officers on the Circle and up and down South Meridian all the time?
Right.
Why are these things happening in our high-profile tourist areas? Not necessarily back alleys. Like, yes, that happens.
Right.
But I'm talking about the high-profile tourist areas in this city. We're seeing action there now. And that's why you've got people like Vop Osley putting out this plan, which goes against some of these Twitter trolls that I deal with on a daily basis. All right, I got a question for you, Mindy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to play you something from Andrea Mitchell here in just a moment.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me if this is an apology, in your opinion. So last week, you had NBC's Andrea Mitchell. She claimed that Ron DeSantis was against teaching slavery to kids in schools because he banned the African American Studies class.
What does Governor Ron DeSantis not know about Black history and the Black experience when he says that slavery and the aftermath of slavery should not be taught to Florida school children?
So first of all, that was a complete lie. And secondly, the reason African American Studies was banned by Ron DeSantis was there was a big section in this class called queer theory. And the governor of Florida said, we're not teaching sexual things to kids.
Right.
No matter how much you lunatics want to, we're not teaching sex to kids. They tried to be slick and hide it under another name of a class, but he found out and said, no, we're not doing that. At no point did Ron DeSantis say we're not teaching slavery. So she got called out. She got busted on it. And tell me if this is an apology, in your opinion.
And a postscript. In my interview last Friday with Vice President Harris, I was imprecise in summarizing Governor DeSantis' position about teaching slavery in schools. Governor DeSantis is not opposed to teaching the fact of slavery in schools, but he has opposed the teaching of an African American studies curriculum, as well as the use of some authors and source materials that historians and teachers say makes it all but impossible for students to understand the broader historic and political context behind slavery and its aftermath in the years since.
So she clearly got called out. Mm-hmm. She clearly lied. Does that work for you as an apology?
No, because she still did not catch the point of why he was pulling that out. There's the trickery they were using and the ruse of this instead of, he's not saying, and the fact of slavery. No, he's not saying that they cannot teach about slavery at all. He's saying this was a plot and I'm not going to stand for it.
Imagine if you're somebody that doesn't follow the news cycle as closely as we all do. And you're home, you've got, dinner on the table, you just got home from work, the kids, are at home, your wife's at home, you turn on the news and you see Andrea Mitchell, Ron DeSantis wants to outlaw teaching about slavery. Like, that is so misleading and that is so wrong.
Right.
It's a bald-faced lie is what it is. But people who don't follow this stuff would think, well, what the hell's wrong with Ron DeSantis? And that is the problem with our national media in this country.
Right.
It's all one-sided. Now, listen, Fox does their fair share too. Mm-hmm. But you've got to do your own research when it comes to this. Do you really think a guy in his position is going to walk to the microphone, hey, listen up, everybody. We're not teaching slavery. Good night. And that's the dumbest thing ever.
Right.
Sometimes you have to say things out loud before you realize how stupid it really is.
Well, it's because responsible journalism is out the window. It doesn't exist anymore. It's, I heard something, let me throw it out there, and instead of actually doing the research to make sure it's accurate.
And I'm glad you bring that up because Andrea Mitchell is supposed to be one of their...
The top ones.
Journalist,
yeah.
Fair and balanced news people.
Right.
There's a difference between what Rachel Maddow does and what Andrea Mitchell does. There's a difference between what Tucker Carlson does and what Brett Baer does. Some people get paid to give their opinions. Some people are the news.
Right.
But you've got Andrea Mitchell here trying to cross both lines, and she got caught on it.
Puccini's 7 side locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com. Puccini's 7 side locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
Founded right here in Indianapolis in 1991 and winner of the World Pizza Championships in Parma, Italy.
Puccini's 7 side locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I get to work with couples looking for their dream engagement ring. Many feel overwhelmed. They just don't know where to start. And that's what I love about my job. I get to make this important experience fun and easy. We don't work on commission, so there's no pressure. When you visit, first, I'll want to know, what are your ideas for your dream ring? What fits your lifestyle, your personality, your budget? Then we'll go from there. We'll look at ring settings and I'll show you options for the center stone. For example, if you choose a classic solitaire ring setting, I can show you how it'll look with different center stones, like a pear-shaped diamond or an oval pink sapphire. We have all shapes, colors, and sizes. If you're going for a big look with lots of sparkle, I can show you our halo ring settings. Or, if you want a ring that's ready to go, we can look at our perfectly preset styles. Visit your friends. We're in this together.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hammer and Nigel here for Mark Deedle Realty. And I'm telling you, this guy's the best in the business. Mike and Loretta, let's take them for an example. Mike and Loretta in Mooresville. Their kids were grown and moved out, and they wanted to downsize and move closer to the grandkids. They were worried about timing, and Mark Deedle stepped up, made it easy. With relentless marketing, they had a buyer in just a few weeks at the price that they needed. And if that's not enough for you, how about this? Mark Deedle has the guarantee in place. He's the only one that I know that does this guarantee that if he can't get an offer in 3 days at full market value, he will list it for free. That's the Mark Deedle guarantee, and that's why he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So call Mark Deedle right now, 317-755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 38,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Winning games and championships is fun, but the true purpose of high school sports is for student athletes to grow as people, not just athletes. I'm Paul Knighty, Commissioner of the IHSAA.
And I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana Secretary of Education. Hoosier teachers and coaches care just as much about how student athletes are performing in the classroom as they do about how they're performing on the playing field.
They understand high school sports are a tool to educate and shape the whole student athlete, helping teens become the best versions of themselves.
Our teachers and coaches don't just teach academic and athletic skills, they also encourage communication and collaboration, instill confidence, promote a strong work ethic, and so much more. To all our Hoosier educators and coaches, we are grateful for everything you do.
Fans, buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events and thank our educators for making education-based athletics possible.
This is gratitude. This is appreciation. This is your IHSAA.
Woodard M. Hart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
South side, westbound 465, stop and go 65 to 31. And coming into downtown right now, eastbound 70 slows from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st Street to the north split. And we're looking at Raymond at Sherman. Avoid. There was a crash. It was serious, and everything is jacked up in that area. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Don't trust your home improvement projects to out-of-state franchise companies. Stay local and buy local with B Window, family owned for 40 years. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
54 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Mindy Winkler is in for Big Nige. So Mindy, I'm going to do something that I think it's going to make all of us feel old. I'm going to play you some songs that turn 30 years old this year.
Great.
Okay.
These are old songs as it is. I don't need help.
That turn 30 years old this year. Your job is to yell out the name of the artist if you know what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
What if I don't know the artist, but I know the song?
That'll work too.
Okay. What is love? Oh, Hadaway.
Yes. All songs 30 this year.
Wow. Tag team.
There it is. Inner Circle.
Okay.
Theme of Cops.
Yes. Gym Blossoms?
Yes.
Oh gosh, it's right there.
Cocaine in Ukraine. Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill. 10,000 Maniacs or no?
Proclaimers.
SWV?
Yes. Nice.
I'm impressing myself right now. Oh, Salt and Pepper.
Yes. All songs 30 years old this year.
When I was in college, baby. Oh, I know.
Snow. That's it. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
If you're an aspiring retiree, chances are you're looking to answer one of life's biggest questions. When can I afford to retire? And while you don't need a fortune to plan for retirement, you do need a vision. A true financial planning partner will encourage you to think about and help you determine the why, when, and where for your retirement. That's what we believe retirement is really all about. Not having to wonder what's next, but instead having the financial confidence to know your biggest concerns have been addressed, giving you the freedom to live your life with meaning and purpose. This is Brian Singer with Howard Bailey Financial. Retirement is not a time to downsize your dreams. We believe you can get whatever you want in life, but only by design. We ask aspiring retirees to stand in the future and imagine what you'd like to be true of your life in 3, 5, or 10 years, or whenever your desired timeline for retirement happens to be. Our Retire with Purpose planning process is where you become the architect of your future by starting with the end you want to achieve and reverse engineering that outcome. Retiring with purpose begins with the why rather than the how. The Brownsburg Howard Bailey team employs a planning process designed to bring your future into the present so we can help you design that future now. We want to empower you to use your money to help create the life you want to live so you can spend retirement doing whatever it is you want to do with meaning and purpose. The Retire with Purpose process is designed to prepare you for financial independence by design rather than hope or chance. If you're ready to retire with purpose and confidence, give us a call at 317-852-9153 to schedule a retirement readiness review. 317-852-9153. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Good morning, sports fans from Indianapolis, Indiana.
This is where heroes become legends, and legends become legendary.
Elio Castroneves joins the four-time Winners Club.
This is a special blend of speed,
Junior makes the pass, they'll win it.
tradition,
You just don't know what Indy means.
and magic.
Sullivan's lost it.
This is the Indy 500, but you've never seen this 500. This is May.
Get your tickets now at IMS.com.
I just wish Mom could hear better on the phone.
Dad gets so upset with me when I call. I wish it were different.
The CapTel caption phone from Relay Indiana allows you to speak into the phone and your words appear on a bright, easy-to-read screen. Conversations occur naturally with added clarity.
I used to love our phone chats. I wish it was like before.
Now it can be with the CapTel caption phone. Go to RelayIndiana.com and call 334-1413 today.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Donnie Burgess reports on a bill that may impact your child's classroom and how Pete Buttigieg spent his time in Ohio today. It's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A late warning on Lisa Brady, Fox News. The toxic train derailment in Ohio could come down to that. A preliminary report from federal investigators says the train crew didn't receive a warning about an overheated axle until just before the crash earlier this month. The report released as a stream of current and former officials continue to visit East Palestine, criticizing or defending the federal response.
Enough with the politics. I don't understand why this has gotten so political. This is a community that is suffering.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy says she only cares about preventing future incidents. They're planning to hold a rare field hearing on the crash this spring. A former South Carolina attorney charged with murder says he's a liar, not a killer.
Alex Murdaugh was asked if he killed his wife and son. He said no, but he did admit he lied about being with Maggie and Paul on their family property moments before they were killed. He did go to his mother's house that night after Maggie and Paul had been killed, and vehicle data shows he remained stopped in his mother's driveway for some time.
During that minute or however long it was, were you disposing of murder weapons, Alec?
No.
Were you disposing of bloody clothes?
No.
But he said he could not account for the whereabouts of the outfit he'd previously had on that night, saying he had asked their housekeeper, but the clothing still has not been found.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. St. Louis prosecutor Kim Gardner is refusing to resign and says a bid to force her out is political.
The people have a process if they do not no longer want me in this office, and that's called an election.
State Attorney General Andrew Bailey wants the courts to remove Gardner.
This is not about politics. This is about the rule of law and justice.
He points to a car crash suspect still out on bond despite repeated violations. Gardner's office says that was a judge's decision. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It could have an impact on your kid's classroom. 53 degrees with a few clouds on Monument Circle. Nothing on your radar, but it is windy. A low of 24 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A bill banning the discussion of human sexuality for kindergarten through third grade is moving on through the State House. Donnie Burgess reports.
House Bill 1608 says gender and sexual identity are off the table for instruction in classrooms up until third grade. The bill would also require teachers to notify parents first if their child wants to change their pronouns. Republican State Representative Michelle Davis, who wrote the bill, says it puts parents in the driver's seat. Democrats say the bill is dangerous for LGBTQ students. The bill now heads to the Senate. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
One person was killed, another hurt in a shooting off 36th Street on the east side earlier this afternoon. New Metro Police says it happened just before 1, not far from 38th Street and Sherman Drive. The person who was hurt is in the hospital. No suspects in custody yet, say police, but they are talking to witnesses. Transportation Secretary and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg was in East Palestine, Ohio earlier today, surveying the site of the train derailment that released toxic chemicals into the air and water earlier this month. He described his conversation with East Palestine Mayor Trent Conaway.
I had a good conversation with the mayor, who is clearly very focused on supporting this community and helping the community move forward.
Conaway called it a slap in the face when he saw President Biden travel to Ukraine and didn't stop through Ohio. It may make mail-in voting a little bit stricter. Jaden Arnold reports on a bill passed by the House.
The State House in Indiana has passed a bill that requires voters to provide more identification information when requesting mail-in election ballots. The bill calls for a photocopy of a government-issued ID card or the inclusion of 2 ID numbers with mail-in ballot applications. The supporters argue that it will increase voter confidence, while opponents fear that it could limit access to the polls for the elderly. The bill now moves to the state Senate for consideration. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey?
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay. If you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery. We love getting a 6% upfront bonus, but we also love that our investment growth is tax-free because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
That's 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison, Raymond to Sherman, still a mess. That's a crash and a place to avoid. Inbound 65 to downtown. Stop and go 21st Street to the north split. Eastbound 70, a slow roll from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 69, slow off 96th Street to 82nd. East side northbound 465, stop and go traffic from 70 to Penn Pike. Crash 47th at Franklin Road on the east side. Traffic sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a much colder night as temperatures fall into the mid-20s with wind chill values in the teens by Friday morning. Have that winter coat for Friday overall with highs only in the upper 30s to low 40s with plenty of afternoon sunshine. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters?
Weirdos. On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
It is the Hammer and sometimes Nigel show. Hammer or Nigel.
Hammer and Friends.
Hammer and Friends. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out. Mindy Winkler pinch hitting for Nigel today. Thank you very much. Hey, real quick question for everybody in the room. Raise your hand. Who wants to get lied to?
Ooh, me.
Well, Kamala Harris, come on down. Because the vice president claims that Joe Biden has reduced heating and electricity bills so people can have more money in their pockets.
Every day, Joe Biden and I talk about and work together with our partners like former Leader Hoyer, current Leader Hoyer, to lower the cost for the people of our nation, because you are a leader, for working families. We have reduced heating and electricity bills. So folks have more money in their pocket to buy things like school supplies, replace the dishwasher, or take a family vacation.
So I have a question for you, Mindy.
Yeah.
What the hell is she talking
I
about?
have no idea. First of all, how would he have done this? And second of all, I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. In certain areas.
So I went back and dug up some numbers here. Electricity is up 11.9%. Fuel oil is up 27.7%. And natural gas is up 26.7% over last year. It's almost like this moron doesn't think we have the internet and the ability to look up information.
Right. I'm just laughing because I'm trying to picture, she said, we get together and talk every day. And I'm thinking, what's that conversation like?
In my mind, Joe Biden's sitting there and he's got his tidy whities on and he's got pudding all over his face and he's got a coloring book in one hand and the remote control in another, and he's watching Matlock, and Kamala Harris is just cackling for 5 minutes. That's how that meeting played out. But at this point, like, seriously, they're not even trying to, like, doctor up the numbers. They're just flat out lying to you. There's no way that people could say you've got more money in your pockets when you look at the numbers in regards to what's happening at the grocery store, what's happening with electricity, what's happening with travel, what's happening with pretty much everything.
They think we're stupid.
Yes.
They really do.
But then again, 81 million people did vote for them, so maybe they're onto something here. So in honor of Kamala Harris just completely being full of crap, it's time to do another edition of Great Moments in Lying. The Hammer and Nigel Show presents Great Moments in Lying.
If you like your plan and you like your doctor, you keep your plan.
Great Moments in Lying. Oh, that lie right there cost a few people some jobs, if I'm not wrong. The Wall Street Journal has a story out that, it's just a good feeling story. Makes you feel good. Makes you want to sleep well at night, Mindy. Attacks on the U.S. power grid up 71% this past year.
Wow.
71%. According to the Electricity Information Sharing and Analysis Center, a division of North American Electric Reliability Corp., the number of attacks on power grid infrastructure soared last year by 71% due to a series of physical attacks in the Southeast, Midwest, and Pacific Northwest, according to the report. Manny Cancel, who is the CEO of the division that has compiled the report, told the Wall Street Journal, quote, "There seems to be a pattern where people are targeting critical infrastructure, probably with the intent to disrupt."
Probably.
This is where the United States, I think, is vulnerable. Like, we keep talking about World War III and China and Russia. You want to know how to really get over
we're self-destructing.
on the United States?
Yeah.
Take out our power grid. And it seems like it's pretty vulnerable, because think about how much this country relies on the internet and Wi-Fi and electricity. You eliminate that kind of stuff. Cell phone coverage, cell phone towers. You find a way to permanently damage that, or damage it to the point to where another attack could come afterwards. This is where the United States is vulnerable.
Absolutely.
A fury of European diplomatic activity over the weekend, early this week as well. This is in regards to the Russia-Ukraine war. President Joe Biden making that surprise visit to Ukraine, kissing the boots of Zelensky.
Offering up the farm.
Probably getting his kickback because, the big guy has to get 10%. One of China's most senior diplomats was heading to Russia. So while we've got, basically a corpse in a suit going over to Ukraine, China sent one of their badasses over to Russia to have some conversations.
Yikes.
This was President Xi's senior foreign policy advisor, and he gave one of the strongest indications yet of Russia and China's kind of bromance that they've got going on right now. Quote, "We are ready to deepen our strategic partnership." This is according to Reuters. "Other countries cannot put pressure on our relations." And you know what? He's right. Because right now, there's a weak man that's inside the White House.
Right.
There's no sign of strength from Joe Biden. He can't walk upstairs without taking a tumble. And the rest of the world sees this.
Right.
We laugh at it. We think it's funny, but the rest of the world sees this. They're not scared of the United States. This is why all these countries are getting squirrely right now.
Absolutely. And and that's just it, is the fact that those two in particular combining efforts. That's the scary part. That's where we're talking World War III. That's a power. I mean, that's power right there.
And this will be spun by the folks on the left, the Biden supporters, as, well, this is why we have to keep funding Ukraine, because we can't have Russia grow in strength and we can't have Russia get strong and ultimately partner with China. We better keep sending those blank checks to Ukraine. Meanwhile, that becomes their scapegoat for all of the failures that the administration has had.
Right.
From an economic standpoint, from a supply chain standpoint, Joe Biden right now can blame everything on Putin. If somebody knocks up one of his family members, war in Ukraine, it's Putin. Everything gets blamed on that right now, and people go along with it because you've got folks at MSNBC and CNN that will agree with it. Joe Scarborough loves what's going on right now. And there are some Republicans do too. They're not off the hook here. Mitch McConnell, he's another one that loves what's going on. Brian Kilmeade at Fox, he's another one that thinks we have to keep funding this endless war that the United States is not a part of.
Right.
Now, if you want to have a conversation about humanitarian aid, we can do that. I'm all about helping the refugees over there get their life back together. That's money we can debate about. But sending them tanks and sending them things to fight this war and funding their pensions, that's where you have to draw the line. $200 billion, roughly, spent on this war with Ukraine. Think about what just a fraction of that money could do for the United States.
Right.
If you just cut it in half, let's just say half, $100 billion. They told Donald Trump his wall idea for $5 billion was laughable. We're not going to spend $5 billion on a wall. Now look what we're just giving Ukraine right now. This is the problem, but nobody wants to talk about this that has a spine in the Republican Party. And what I'm talking about is the leadership.
Right.
Right. You're going to hear guys say, wait a minute, what's going on? People like Jim Jordan and so forth. But Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, you guys have the microphone. You guys have the power right now, but they don't want to have any part of saying this is bad. Because if you say that I'd rather have my money stay in America, well, you must be a Putin lover.
You don't care.
You don't care. You must want Russia to win. You must like Vladimir Putin. No, I've made this perfectly clear. I hope Vladimir Putin dies tomorrow. But I also don't want all of our tax dollars going to a country that doesn't even really like us.
Right.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
It is Raymond Street South Sherman Drive, still a spot to avoid because of a crash. We are looking at eastbound 465, stop and go. Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road, northwest side, northbound lane slow. 86th Street up to 865 and Southside Dragon in the eastbound side of 465 Kentucky Avenue to the White River. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. When you choose Comcast Business, you choose a future-ready, next-generation 10G network. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Temperature starting to decline quickly. Just a couple of hours ago, it was like 66. Now we're down to 51 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Going to get down to 24 degrees before midnight tonight. High tomorrow of 42 before we start picking it back up again Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Mindy Winkler's filling in for Big Nige, and when we come back, have you ever been stuck on a ride? We talked about this off air yesterday here.
Like a roller coaster?
Roller coaster ride. I want to bring this conversation to you guys next.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network.
Go on.
Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through March 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration. for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required, and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Did you miss the Sullivan Hardware and Garden patio furniture sale last weekend? Well, you didn't miss it all. Due to tremendous response, we've held over the best pricing of the season on premium patio furniture. Hi, Pat Sullivan here. Have you seen all the patio furniture at Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Teak, cast aluminum, all-weather wicker, Berlin garden poly furniture, and much more. Many customers ask me, why is our patio furniture different? Well, we specialize in excellent quality, mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 17,000 square foot warehouse. And again, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, patio furniture already pre-season priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. You can even order your own custom cushions at no extra charge. Come see for yourself once again this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Patio furniture already pre-season priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, and in Cicero. Online at sullivanhardware.com.
On game night, our team is 17,000 strong.
Jackson went up with one hand, sledgehammered it down.
When you ride with these Indiana Pacers, you'll feel the energy inside Gamebridge Fieldhouse from tip-off through the final buzzer.
Knows where the clock is, lets it fly, and hits again.
Keep the energy flowing, Pacer Nation. Let's get revved up.
Your Pacers collide with the Eastern Conference leading Boston Celtics Thursday at 7. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Celtics Thursday at 7.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Shout out to Mindy Winkler, who not only showed up to fill in for Nige today, but she brought some beers with you.
Heck yeah, always. I'm
Love
always
it.
prepared.
Usually it's me that volunteers to give, the guest a beer or two, but you pulled a power move and said, no, I got this.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
For that. Mindy's in for Nigel today. A family is getting heat after posting a theme park hack on TikTok. Now, Mindy, do you do the TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not on it. I'll watch occasional funny videos, but no.
Same here.
Yeah.
I don't have an account. Hammer and Nigel doesn't have an account. My wife has an account, but just watches videos on it. So this family posted a theme park hack to TikTok, which involved using raised up shoes so their son could be tall enough to go on the rides at Disney.
What?
Here is the father of the Kelly family breaking down how they made their son Cannon taller so he could bypass all of those silly safety restrictions.
Meet my son Cannon, our thrill-seeking boy who can't get enough of Disney theme park rides. The only problem, you ask? He's just not tall enough for the big ones. But we didn't want that to stop him from feeling the rush, so we took matters into our own hands and crafted a shoe that just might do the trick. With the help of towering heels, extra flip-flop bottoms, and some Gorilla Glue, we've possibly discovered the ultimate theme park hack.
So, a question we often ask on this program, are you okay with this?
No, I'm not okay with this. Those are in place for a reason. There's safety issues. I was that short kid in elementary school and I was a thrill seeker. My parents took me to Kings Island. They had to pay this full price and I couldn't ride, the Screaming Demon and all the big rides back then.
Even when you were a little bit older?
Yeah. I mean, it was like I was probably 12 and I couldn't ride them because I was too short. And then all of a sudden I got a growth spurt.
Like, I wonder, could Tom Cruise and Kevin Hart get on these rides now? Like, I wonder if they would be allowed to get on some of these rides. Are they tall enough? Because they're short dudes.
But then there's limitations if you're too tall, too. I have some friends that they're too long and their feet will hit.
See, that would scare me more than anything.
Same.
Like, you don't want to be decapitated or have your feet, get knocked off.
Correct.
Like, that would be scarier than hell. Has anybody in this room, Allison, Mindy, have either of you ever been stuck on a ride? Like at Kings Island, Disney. Allison, you ever been stuck?
Yes, Kings Island on the Beast. We were going up the hill, but it was actually a nice fall day, so I just enjoyed the view for like 15 minutes.
Were you stuck like at the top part or just on the ascend up?
On the ascend up.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad.
So that's not too bad. You were in like a regular seat position.
Yeah.
Mindy?
It was also the Beast, but I was out there on that turn part, and it was dark. And we were out there for 2 hours. It was horrible.
2 hours.
2 hours. So I was there with a show choir thing, and they were letting us have the park to ourselves. It was just the river area. So the big one there is the Beast. And we were stuck out there. We were asking to order pizza because we were starving. We were literally chanting.
Were you like crooked or anything?
We were like angled, yes. And it was
for 2 hours.
2 hours. And the gal sitting next to me was not thin.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So, yeah, my ribs hurt for a few days.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's way worse than mine, I think, because of the time frame. I got stuck on a ride at SeaWorld. We went down to Orlando. We did like all the theme parks. We did Disney and we did this and that. So SeaWorld was last on the list. There was this ride where they strap you in, but then they tilt you forward. So it's kind of like you're Superman and you're flying. Well, the ride comes like toward the end, and I hear this ka-choom, and it gets stuck. It's like 95 degrees. It's hotter than hell, and I'm like face first, like 2 feet away from the concrete. Blood's rushing to my head. I'm fat. I'm hungry. It's awful. This was only for about 20 minutes or so, but to be in that
would have felt like eternity, though.
Superman type position where you're dangling and your face is looking straight at concrete. It's hot. Sweat's pouring off my head.
Did you have like a little puddle by the time you were
Dude,
done?
I could see it dripping off my head.
Oh.
I was looking like Shaq at the free throw line, man, because it was a hot day anyway. But now I'm angry. I'm a little concerned. Blood's rushing to my head. My kids are the same way. They're handling it better than I am at this point. But, I got a headache. It was awful.
Oh.
Just awful. Allison, hit me with a little booze news.
You set him up and I'll knock him back, Lloyd. 1 by 1.
We are gonna read booze news, cause it's really fun.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Hammer and Nigel presents
Booze News, Booze News.
Yeah.
Time for Booze News.
We've been talking a lot about what's happening at the Indiana General Assembly. Tennessee is having theirs as well, and a bill that's currently at the Tennessee legislature would allow police officers in the volunteer state to carry weapons while under the influence of booze or controlled substances unless they're at a school. So if you're a law enforcement officer in Tennessee, you could be hammered drunk. You could have all the cocaine on your nose looking like Scarface sitting there at the table. You would be allowed to have your weapon.
That sounds safe.
But you can't take it into a school.
Okay. Thanks for that restriction.
Like, on one hand, law enforcement, they probably deserve a few perks because, honestly, your job description is running to dangerous situations and sometimes being shot at.
Right.
I understand that. But I don't know if we want to put it into record, into law that states you can just get blotto. You can get ridiculous to the point where you're almost wetting your pants and still have your weapon available at all times.
Right.
Might be one of those unwritten rules. Like, we're not going to put it down. We're not going to write it.
We're going to turn the other way. You're right.
But there was one senator that's like, you know what's the problem around here? Our drunk officers don't have their guns. I, as a senator, am going to change that. Like, I would love to see that commercial, to be honest with you, because I bet he would win going away. There's a new thread going around social media where people are sharing everyday activities that they've been doing wrong for years. So one of the ones on the list here is you are supposed to take the silverware basket out of the dishwasher to unload it and then put it back in.
Well, my husband's been doing that for years, and it drives me nuts.
I just reached down to pick it up.
He just dumps it into the drawer, so I have to rearrange it.
Here's one. Don't waste celery. If your celery goes bad, goes limp, loses its crunch in the fridge, soak it in water overnight, and it revives the celery.
Interesting.
Never knew that.
No.
Did you know this
one?
one?
How does that work, though? When you put it in soup, it doesn't, like, revive, and that's basically water?
I don't know. Need to get Dr. Fauci on the hotline. We need science. And he is the science, so we need to get him on the hotline.
Right.
Did you know this one? Sliding your thumb on the space bar of your phone will move the cursor. So if you slide your thumb on the space bar of your phone, that will move the cursor if you're having problems with it.
Okay.
To open a beverage can with a tab that's flush with the top, just push down on the hinge of the tab and it'll raise up the other side.
Oh, that's good to know with us ladies that have nails.
See? There you go. Rinsing your hair with hot water will leave your hair frizzy and dry.
You're supposed to rinse it with cold.
Bingo.
I learned this from my health teacher, Mr. Crouch, in Manassas Heights High School in 9th grade. And transitions, We Grow Hair Indie confirmed it.
Really?
Yes. They were like, oh, absolutely. You were supposed to rinse your hair with cold water.
To wrap a towel around your waist after a shower, don't tuck it inwards. Fold it outwards and down because it becomes more secure that way.
Oh, I got to try this tomorrow.
To open bananas, you're supposed to do what monkeys do and open them from the bottom because it's much easier that way. So these are just little hacks that we've been doing
how that's
wrong.
Easier.
The inside shower curtain goes inside the tub to keep the floor outside dry.
Duh. Doesn't everybody do that?
Kind of feel like that would be common knowledge. Right? One more here. Use a gift card to sign up for free trials online. Some people say it works with an empty Visa prepaid card. That way, you don't have to worry about forgetting about it and being charged later on.
That's brilliant.
See? We don't just tell poop jokes and drink around here. We learn things. I'm looking out the window, Mindy, and I see Rob Kendall. He's ripped off his shirt. He's got Ultimate Warrior war paint on his face. I think he's ready to go off the rails. We're going to have that coming up right after a look at the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How he spent this time there. Partly cloudy, 50 degrees in downtown Indy. Clear on the radar with a low of 24 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Transportation Secretary and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg was in East Palestine, Ohio earlier today, checking out the site of the train derailment that released toxic chemicals into the air. He described his conversation with East Palestine Mayor Trent Conaway.
Had a good conversation with the mayor, who is clearly very focused on supporting this community and helping the community move forward.
Conaway called it a slap in the face to the East Palestine community that President Biden went to Ukraine instead of their town. The White House was asked today about Biden's response to that derailment, and Fox's Ryan Schmelz has more.
When pressed several times by reporters, including Fox's Jillian Turner, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre did not have an update on if President Biden would visit East Palestine, Ohio.
But I think offering the assistance, offering the help is doing it directly. When you're seeing the federal government on the ground providing the assistance that is needed, that is doing it directly.
The press secretary defending the federal government's response, saying the EPA has been on the ground and the president has been in close contact with the governors of Ohio and Pennsylvania. She did not have an update when asked if the president has spoken with East Palestine's mayor, who's at times been critical of the president. At the White House, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Temperatures are supposed to drop across the state soon.
Tomorrow it'll be near seasonal, so around 40 here for Indianapolis, but then we quickly warm back up as we get to the weekend. So it's a brief shot of cold air.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis expects temperatures to get back into the 50s and 60s in a few days. He also says there's a chance for rain Monday. House Bill 1608 bans human sexuality instruction in kindergarten, first, second, and third grade classrooms. Republican State Representative Michelle Davis, the author of 1608, says the bill puts parents in the driver's seat when it comes to what their kids are being taught. If a student wants to change their pronouns, teachers would be required to contact parents. Democrats say even if parents give the okay, teachers can still refuse to go along with the pronoun change. With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Baer.
All right, south side, northbound 65 stop-and-go traffic from 465 before Keystone Avenue. Westbound lanes also tight from I-65 over to US 31. Inbound 65 jams at 21st Street until the North Split. Inbound 69 stop and go 96th Street down to 82nd. Eastbound 465 stop and go before Keystone to Allisonville Road. And avoid Raymond Street at Sherman. That is closed because of a crash. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Prepare for a much colder night as temperatures fall into the mid-20s with wind chill values in the teens by Friday morning. Have that winter coat for Friday overall with highs only in the upper 30s to low 40s with plenty of afternoon sunshine. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall on 93 WIBC.
It is the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Mindy Winkler filling in for Big Nige and joining us in studio. Ready to go off the rails is Rob Kendall. Rob, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks as always to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis. They came out a couple weeks ago, fixed my dad's garage opener. It was absolutely incredible. Those guys are the best.
They fixed your garage door opener, and then they fixed your dog while they were there. They do it all. They're amazing people. Rob, we could start a number of places here, but let's start close to home. Let's start with your friends, your euchre partners over there at the Indiana General Assembly. With all of the things going on, property taxes going up, gas tax going up.
Oh, yeah.
They voted to give themselves a raise.
Yeah, so little birdie had sent on me. You may know this. They try to make everything government as complicated and hard to understand as possible. So you have to have a PhD to know how to read the budget and understand it. And then buried there in the budget, it turned out the House budget has $1.5 million in raises for the House members, which if you take $1.5 million and you divide it by 100, which is how many House members are, that's $15,000 a lawmaker.
Now, Rob, do they do the amount of work to warrant said raise?
Well, here's what they do, Hammer. And look, this is it's a very hard life. They work 4 days a week. They don't work Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays.
You're kidding me.
Session will end in April, so that's about 3 months worth of work. Next year, it'll end in March. That's 2 months worth of work. And when you put the salary, the per diem, the mileage together, they make about between $60,000 and $70,000 as is. So
how is Nigel not a lawmaker?
Well, I was going to ask you, Hammer. You know, you have. I know you've scaled back a little bit. You do the DJ business on the weekends. You pulling in $60,000 on your little part-time gig there?
Not quite.
Yeah,
not quite.
So you tack another 15 on top of that, and they'll be $75,000-ish a piece for 4 days worth of work for 3 months.
Can you sign up to do this no matter if you don't live there?
No, you do have to live in your district. Now,
what if I just buy a rental house over there?
Well, that's a good question, Mindy, because we're a little unclear because, of course, Diego Morales took a homestead credit in a county different from where he voted, and he's yet to explain how that happened. So it's probably who you are and who you know. I mean, it's kind of a gray area.
So aside from giving themselves raises, what are some of the things that we should be keeping our eye on? We've been talking a lot about the education bill, House Bill 1608, which would prohibit people that have children grades kindergarten through third grade being taught sexual things. Whether it's straight or gay, it would be prohibited. And somehow, Rob, this has turned into Indiana's Don't Say Gay bill.
Yeah, I think the Republicans like this, though. I was talking about this the other day. I think the Republicans like these culture wars and the lunatic left display of madness at the State House, because what it does is it keeps people focused on that thing, right? Like, so a day on the radio, we all got absorbed with those total maniacs who want to teach sex to little kids. And what we weren't talking about is how there's no help for you on property taxes yet. The gas tax is going up. There's record budgets. There's record spending. There's record government. They're putting $500 million in a slush fund for Holcomb to be able to strong-arm farmers out of their land like he did in Boone County. We don't talk about any of that stuff when we get hung up on the lunatic left people coming to the State House yelling because they can't teach sex to little kids.
But don't you have to fight back with those people? Like, I've reached the point to where I don't want to try to be nice to these lunatics. And I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can still talk about property tax, but these lunatics that thought, I'm going to wake up in the morning, go down to the State House, possibly get thrown out because I want sex taught to my kindergartner. No, stop being nice to these people.
No, I think they handled it right. But the problem is what they do with the finances is so egregious. And here's how they get away with it. And this is why they get away with it. And the Democrats, I don't understand this. Like, they just cannot. Like, they can't even lie to people well. This is why people feel, and I know you guys, can weigh in on this. People feel like, well, I have to vote Republican because yes, they're stealing my money. Yes, they're being abusive with my finances. Yes, they're being terrible stewards with the state money. But if I run the risk of the Democrat getting in there, then my little kid, my 7-year-old, is going to be taught sex in public education.
Right.
So people feel like, well, these guys suck, but I'd rather not have my money than have my kid being taught sex when they're 7 years old.
Well, and this is one of those hills that I think we should be dying on because this is a big deal. And I'm glad you said the age because people think kindergarten, third, they're not really thinking these are little kids.
Yeah.
And they don't even understand, anything regarding it is. I don't want them to be just talking about heterosexuality. It's not appropriate for that age.
But here's the other problem. If they really wanted to fix the issue, because ultimately this rests at the school boards, right? If the school boards aren't allowing the stuff to happen, if the school boards aren't enacting the policy, then none of this actually exists. So if you wanted to fix the school boards, the obvious and easy solution is to say in places like Brownsburg, in Avon, in Carmel, in Noblesville, Zionsville, where you have outwardly left maniacs.
We finally got it right in Fishers.
Yeah, you guys did it right? Yes. Ben Orr and those guys, that's awesome. Yes. But you have all these other communities where these people who couldn't get elected dog catcher if they had to put their party affiliation out there, not only are on these school boards, they run the school boards, and the Republicans in the state will not do the thing which would fix that, which is to say we're going to make the school board elections like every other election where you got to say I'm a Republican, a Democrat, Libertarian, and then may the best man or woman win. They will not do it because they don't want to actually solve the issue. I think the Republicans get off on these culture war issues because it distracts people from how abusive they are with the money.
And speaking of the money, I think I already know the answer to this, but I'm curious as to your response. Any update on property taxes?
Well, Jeff Thompson, who is the head of Ways and Means, who has the creativity and inspiration of that wall I'm looking at over there, came out and wrote a bill, and then they added 65 pages of amendments to the bill. And the bill doesn't really help anyone. And, you might get $100 off the $500 extra your property taxes are going to go up from the assessment. And then he came out and said, well, even a little bit of help we gave you, it's probably not going to be what the bill looks like. Well, okay, Mr. Ways and Means, what's the bill going to look like? Well, we'll let you know in April. Hey, doesn't the session end in April? You betcha.
Wow.
So if I understand this correctly, we're getting the Black Friday treatment where something is going to get marked up incredibly high, and then they'll take a couple $100 off of it. Look at your savings. You're welcome.
It's the exact same thing they did last year with the tax rebate, in which they're sitting on $1,500 of your money. They give you $200 of it back, and then they throw themselves a parade for giving you $200 of the $1,500 they overtax you on. You cannot fix property taxes under the current process by which we do property taxes, which is assessments. The problem is that the guy down the street selling your home or selling his home should not affect what you pay in taxes. That doesn't happen anywhere else. But the Republicans are addicted to legalized vote buying. And the best way to ensure the legalized vote buying never stops is to tax you on the things you cannot opt out of. And if you look at the two biggest taxes in the state of Indiana, what are they? They're property taxes. You got to have somewhere to live. And now the gas tax, which is going up again, the sales tax on gas, because if you're a good, decent, hardworking person, you got to drive to work every day. Republicans have completely boxed you in, and the two biggest taxes are on the two things you can't opt out of.
Now, somewhere, somebody's in their car, and I bet their head spun around when you said the Republicans are the ones that are addicted to legalized vote buying, because maybe this is the case in Indiana. I'm not saying that it's not the case in Indiana, but you look at what's happened in the major national elections, you could make a case that between ballot harvesting and some of the things you're seeing in other states, it's the Democrats who have kind of mastered that craft.
Yeah, but there's nothing to talk about here with the Democrats. They don't exist. They don't control anything. Because as we talked about, they're parading people down to the State House to scream at lawmakers about teaching 7-year-olds about sex.
But are you sure about this? Because, I mean, truthfully, do we think that Holcomb is a real Republican?
Right. I mean, he wrote this big op-ed where he basically wants the state to be able to take control of immigration because Holcomb's big business buddies are addicted to cheap labor.
And where did that op-ed appear in?
I don't exactly remember what publication he put it out in.
It wasn't here in Indy, though.
Yeah, it was a national publication, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like you're saying, okay, so you're the governor of the state. You've got 7 million legal people in this state, and you are not focused on the crises that are right in front of you. Like, number one should be the property taxes. Old people, the elderly, the fixed income people. I mean, we're all not doing as well as Mindy is doing. You know, the property tax increases.
Mindy Winkler and her Ferrari, her all-gold rocket car parked on P1.
I have a Hyundai with a split across the entire front windshield.
She rolls in here today and she goes, "You wouldn't believe how much money my husband is making."
That's why I get to play. I don't bring it in.
But she has a purse made from panda hair.
Is that Gucci? No, it's Gucci.
I tell you, this person's from Walmart, by the way.
But he's not focused on that. He's focused on his time and attention. His op-ed is focused on how do I take control of immigration so I can let more illegal immigrants work in this state. I mean, it's just weird.
Can you stick around for one more break?
Absolutely.
We got more to get to. Rob Kendall going off the rails. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday morning at 8. Join John each week as he challenges financial advice you may have been given and reaffirms what you know to be true. Visit creativeplanning.com/radio.
How often have you thought about finishing your basement? Make that dream man cave for watching the big game, or space for the workout room, or, a place for the kids to play. You bought the whole house. Use it. But first, you've got to make sure that space is dry and usable. Your basement and crawl space need to be waterproofed. The last thing you want is water damage, musty smells, mold, and foundation issues happening behind that drywall. Indiana Foundation Services is familiar with crawl space problems and can provide you with a permanent solution. Their exclusive vapor barrier and insulation panels permanently seal and insulate your crawl space from the cold air and precipitation you're trying to keep out of your home. Go to IndianaFoundation.com today to schedule your free inspection. Take back the comfort, health, and safety of your home today with the help of Indiana Foundation Services.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey.
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay. If you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery. We love getting a 6% upfront bonus, but we also love that our investment growth is tax-free because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
That's 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
What really stands out about Shane Company is the vibe here. It's fun and welcoming. Hey there,
I'm a Shane Company jewelry consultant, and my team and I will work together to make sure you have the best experience possible. We want you to feel at ease. It's a family business, and we'll treat you like family. We'll do whatever it takes to help you find what you're looking for and respect your budget. There are a lot of great things we offer at Shane Company that other jewelers don't, like the largest selection of styles in every price range and endless options to personalize your jewelry. Did you know you can create a necklace or ring starting with one of our beautiful gemstones and then watch our master jewelers at work? That's right. There's a jeweler workshop here in our store. That means you can see firsthand the craftsmanship and attention to detail they put into everything they do. If you've never been here, visit us today and see what we have to offer. It's more than fine jewelry. It's a really fun time.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hubler has certified service and maintenance for the life of your vehicle. Get everyday value pricing on service and parts and schedule an appointment with ease at drivehubler.com.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Northwest side, northbound 465, still stop and go. 86th Street up to 865. In the eastbound lanes of 465, a slow roll, Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. We are still dragging in from Fishers, inbound 69 tight. 96th Street down to 82nd. And Raymond Street is shut down between Sherman Drive and Emerson Avenue right now. The intersection is closed because of a crash, so we have to avoid. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Don't trust your home improvement projects to out-of-state franchise companies. Stay local and buy local with B Window, family owned for 40 years. Trust B. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
49 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
We're back with Rob Kendall going off the rails here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Mindy Winkler's here for Big Nige. So when are you going into this Brownsburg Council meeting and doing your Braveheart speech?
Well, to steal a quote from the great Alice Cooper, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
What's going nice?
On? Well, I've been trying to be very nice for the past couple months.
To who?
I have.
He's nice to me.
We got a little issue, and by a little issue, I mean a big issue with transparency on property that somebody owns that is in a position of power, and they have not disclosed that to anybody. And then finally, I made them so enraged that they got off the dais at the last council meeting, came down to the lectern, said they were speaking as a citizen, that they didn't disclose it because the town attorney had told them they didn't have to disclose it, which opened up a whole bunch of other questions. So here's the thing, Hammer. I'm a believer in last chances. And so tonight, because I all know they'll know about this.
Old second chance Kendall over there.
I am going to go to that council meeting, and one final time I've sent emails and gotten no response. I have asked at the council meetings and gotten no response. And I'm going to give them one last chance at the council meeting to answer the questions which every person on that governing body should want to know about. And then if indeed they don't answer, then I'm done being nice, and I'm not going to say the whole 3 hours of Monday's radio show is going to be dedicated to it, but I'm also not saying that that's not going to happen.
You announced on the air this past week that you will be having a daughter.
Yes.
So fast forward years from now.
I don't think Mindy was aware of that.
I was not.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Some of us have other jobs.
Fast forward years from now. Let's say daughter Kendall.
Yeah.
She comes to you. Dad, are you really going to go to that council meeting and call everybody a pain in the ass again?
So
it's so embarrassing. Will you please stop?
So one of the things I've done, which has been very helpful for me, I originally started it for my daughter, but it proved to be helpful for me as well, is I'm journaling every day to my daughter about what is going on in the world as she prepares to enter the world. And one of the things that I've talked about, her middle name is Thatcher, for Margaret Thatcher. And I've told her that my wife got to pick the first name, I got to pick the middle name. And I picked that as a middle name because I want her to always be reminded to do not what is easy, but what is right. And if you are blessed with the opportunity to be a voice for other people who either cannot or will not, for a variety of reasons, speak for themselves, then you always have an obligation to do that. And I feel like with the platform that I have, I am blessed with the ability to speak for people who can't speak for themselves.
I can just see, though, 12 years from now, she's going to come to you in the kitchen. Dad, did you call that guy in the Brownsburg council meeting Senior Taint? Did you do that?
Either that or she's going to be the complete opposite, and she's going to be one that's instigating it. Dad, you're really going to put up with this? Let's go.
That's it. Her rebellion period, she's going to turn into Rachel Maddow. That's totally happening, Rob.
I'm kind of picturing it being like Steve Buscemi in The Wedding Singer, where I just get up at the lectern and go, I'm the best man, the better man.
Well, congratulations to you and your better half.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And thanks as always to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis. Mike Kendall was thoroughly pleased with how they put his garage door opener back on the right track.
Rob Kendall, you're the best.
Thank you, my friend.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. We're coming back.
I don't always black out when I'm drunk.
My kids can't tell that I'm high, so it's okay.
I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink in the morning.
I still have a job, so my drug use isn't a problem.
I can stop using whenever I want.
Don't ignore the signs of addiction. You don't have to wait until it's too late to get help. At Landmark Recovery, we're here to provide affordable and effective addiction treatment. Call 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com to get help today.
Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. From the windows to the walls to the state-of-the-art windows that I've got from Window Nation. They're the best in the business, and they save you money in the long term. 43% of your utility bill is heating cost. You could save up to 30% on your heating bills. Increase the value of your home by up to $12,000 simply by upgrading your windows. And with this deal from Window Nation, now is the time to act. Pay nothing, nada, zero for 24 months. Plus, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. Any style of window from Window Nation, and there's no limit. You're going to save thousands of dollars. You don't pay anything for 2 years, and your energy bills will go down. I know this because I'm a customer. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Be sure to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Spring in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad. And I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Hey, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Visit shelterinsurance.com to find an agent to help you pick a policy that's right for you. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Puccini's 7 side locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com. Puccini's 7 side locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
Founded right here in Indianapolis in 1991 and winner of the World Pizza Championships in Parma, Italy.
Puccini's 7 side locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Alex Brown. North Manchester-based MPS Egg Farms co-CEO Sam Krause says several factors went into the decision to acquire Country Farm Eggs in Georgia. He told IIB they had identified the southeastern U.S. as a region primed for growth.
The Southeast was attractive because of the growing population here. Florida is growing pretty significantly. The Eastern Seaboard is growing pretty significantly. There are also a number of very high-quality grocery stores, which are our main customers in the region.
Krause said the company continues to look at further growth with an eye on the western part of the country. Ivy Tech Community College Sellersburg has unveiled plans for a $2.5 million renovation of Fow Hall that will help lead the way for the new Baptist Health School of Health Sciences and the Baptist Health Life Sciences Laboratory Suite. The project includes upgrades to existing labs and the addition of new labs, study areas, and offices. Gleaners Food Bank of Indiana and Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield are renewing their partnership with a 3-year, $1.8 million gift to support hunger relief efforts. The funds will benefit Gleaners' $25 million campaign to address food insecurity throughout the nonprofit's 21-county service area. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Has your company grown at a rapid pace over the last 2 years? Nominations are now being accepted for Fast 25, IBJ's exclusive list of fastest growing companies in central Indiana. Honorees will be spotlighted in a special publication in the IBJ and celebrated at an event on May 9th. Check out the changes to this year's criteria to see if your company qualifies. Learn more and submit your nomination by March 1st at ibj.com/nominations.
The Indiana Chamber of Commerce today unveiled its list of the best places to work in Indiana for 2023. The list, which features 125 Hoosier businesses representing more than 30 cities and towns, was determined through employer reports and employee surveys. The businesses are split among 4 categories: small, medium, large, and major companies. You can connect to the full list at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Congressman Andre Carson is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. I'm Alex Brown for 93 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, it's been a warm few days in Indiana, but that's going to change. Donnie Burgess reports on a bill involving classrooms that's moving to the Senate, and how South Bend's former mayor spent his time in Ohio. It's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 6 o'clock.
A preliminary cause. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The National Transportation Safety Board says the crew of the Norfolk Southern train that derailed near East Palestine, Ohio earlier this month did not get much warning before the cars went off the tracks, and there's no indication the crew did anything wrong.
Roller bearings fail. But it's absolutely critical for problems to be identified and addressed early, so these aren't run until failure.
Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy, this as the Transportation Secretary traveled to Ohio.
I'm here for the work and not for the politics.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on the ground in East Palestine almost 3 weeks after the toxic train derailment, assessing damage and meeting with local, state, and federal partners on a path forward, and vowing, as the EPA did this week, to hold Norfolk Southern Railway accountable, also calling on Congress to change laws.
We need to make sure we have the strongest, toughest possible hand when it comes to dealing with these railroad companies.
Amid criticism of federal actions,
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Disgraced South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh took the stand in his own defense at his murder trial today. Murdaugh is accused of killing his wife and one of his sons.
I would never intentionally do anything to hurt either one of them.
Prosecutors say Murdaugh is a liar who decided to kill his wife and sons because he wanted sympathy to buy time to cover up what they describe as financial crimes. The UN General Assembly approved a non-binding resolution that calls for Russia to end the war in Ukraine and withdraw its forces. Ukraine's foreign minister said it was more evidence that it's not only the West that backs his country. Wall Street stocks climb, breaking a 4-day losing streak.